The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan podcast by night, all day.
Fuck it, we'll just splice in commercials later, Todd Glass. There's no reason to get all crazy. Fuck it, we'll just splice in. Look at that.
Oh, there you go. My headphones. Old school.
Old school. That's not even old school. That's new school. Jesus. We were just talking about this T-shirt that I'm wearing, which is from Cap City Comedy Club in Austin, one of the great American comedy clubs. Like, without a doubt, one of the top 3, 4 clubs in the whole country. You know, we're talking about, like, places that have... You not hearing yourself?
A little hard.
Oh. It's too high?
Too low.
Oh, you can...
Too low.
Who is in here that, like, doesn't... Oh, beautiful.
That's so much
better.
better.
Don't have to work
now.
so hard. Yeah. People always say, like, when I do UFC broadcasts, like, oh, why are you fucking screaming all the time? You scream on TV. Like, if you're there, you can't hear anything. Like, people are so loud. Like, there's nothing like one of those environments. It's so fucking loud. So when we're talking before the beginning of the show, I have to talk louder. I can't even hear what the fuck I'm saying.
Right. You can't, even though you know. It's hard to imagine. Okay, I know that I don't know what I'm talking about. I got lost already.
Already, we're too high. We got too high. But what I wanted to talk to you about is, I know that you had a hand in designing one of the other great comedy clubs in the country. You had a hand in designing Helium, didn't you?
I did. And you know what? I give him a lot of credit.
What's so funny?
I just saw that fake head.
Oh, this? The alien?
It's funny to turn to that.
Yeah,
okay,
that's pretty dope, isn't it?
I can hold a conversation.
That cat is making me he's making me another thing, a zombie. That guy's badass.
Oh, by the way, so I should say, if my opinion means anything, because we talked about it a little off the air. This is, well, I don't want to insult the other podcasts. It's not something they care about. You know, let me look at it that way. But, like, this is the coolest studio I've ever seen. Like, you took a lot of time, like, creatively to make this a cool space. The brick wall, the red curtains, the black ceiling, the lights with the, like, stars in them, the lava lamps, the rocks. It's like, why fucking not, right?
Yeah, well, I wanted to do something that would make me comfortable. Like, if
well, I don't like it.
Yeah. If you have an opportunity, I'm very childish in what I like, you know, and like aliens and fucking Bigfoot and a werewolf in the front of the place. I'm very childish, but I don't, you know, if I'm in an environment that's not like me, if I'm in like a clean, sterile environment, there'll always be like a little bit of hesitation, even if it's a fraction, a little something that makes you want to keep it, you know, PC or,
right.
or not be so honest or whatever. You know, office environments, I think, ultimately, they like hypnotize people. I think just the idea that you're in an office, all of a sudden everybody becomes something that they're not. Everybody puts on this bullshit attitude. They all have this this weird way of behaving. No one swears. No one talks about sex. No, you know, you're not even supposed to bring up religion or politics. You're supposed to like. Everything's supposed to be like super fake when you're dealing with customers, super flat, no personality, and really ultimately make it like super predictable for the person you're talking to. Like you're going to follow a very strict pattern of thinking and behaving. You're a gentleman in doing business.
Well, yeah, that's why even when I see managers' offices, like I won't say who, but like this is your way to express yourself creatively, which people then, like if I walk into a manager's office and he gets it creatively and I don't know him that well, I give him some points for that. Oh, this guy gets it.
Right.
This manager could have anything he wanted. It's not like it looked like Hertz.
Yeah.
And we used to, behind his back, go, what? This is what he wanted. Like, This is like if you had to go, oh, fuck it, look at me. I work at Hertz. Look at my office. He goes, I want that look. Anyway, that story is available in store. Okay, I did sort of.
Some people just don't give a fuck, though, right? It's something that they don't put any
why do I
thinking
have to
into.
Analyze myself. All I'm worried about
You're
right now,
Canadian.
that story was horrible.
Nah, you're a
I don't even
Canadian.
remember what the story is now. That's where I'm at. I swear to God. I swear to God. That's how much I get lost.
Wow.
And now I'm going to just talk about wherever I'm at.
Dude, we got bookmarks for you. Don't worry. You don't have to worry. We'll always refresh you and let you know what we're talking about in every conversation. We're ready. We're
So
ready.
you're a good high person to be
we're so
around.
professional when it comes to being high.
Thank
we're
you.
excellent at it.
Did you ask me a question?
Yeah,
I
we're
didn't
talking
answer
about
it?
helium, actually. We're talking about you having a say in the design. Because somebody had told me, like, before I'd ever worked there, it's like the best club in the country. They were like, this place is perfect. It's like everything you want in a club. Low ceilings, people are packed in tight. It's a great neighborhood. It's a really cool neighborhood. There's a lot of other bars and jazz clubs, and, like, there's a lot of funky shit in that area.
Yeah.
And that club is just perfectly set up. And then they told me that you had a hand in designing it.
Yeah, Mark called me, and he through Lewis Lee or somebody from Minneapolis, and they said you're opening up a club, and
Is that the guy from Acme?
Yeah, he's the owns Acme. Well, to backtrack a little, which I thought was cool that Mark even knew to do. I go, how did you know to call Lewis Lee? He also called him, and Lewis basically taught him how to run a club.
Well, Acme is another example. I've never worked at Acme, but I was there recently. I was hanging out with Arj Barker, and he was working there. It's a fucking amazing place.
It is.
It's perfect.
And all comedians like it. So what Mark did, the guy who opened up Helium, I go, how'd you know to pick him? Like, how'd you know Acme? He goes, oh, I went to a comedy festival. As a non-club owner, just a guy who thinks he wants to open up a club. And he asked every comedian what their favorite club was. He goes, he heard Acme a lot. He goes, that sounds like a guy I'd want to talk to.
Yeah.
I go, that's so brilliant. He goes, it's just common sense. I go, yeah, but most people don't have it.
It's like we were talking about Cobb's the other day, and I love Cobb's. Cobb's in San Francisco. I started at the old Cobb's, which is a really tiny place.
Don't mention Cobb's to me.
It was only like...
Just kidding. You know those people, no matter what you're talking about. Hey, don't mention them.
Those are bad.
Is there anybody I can mention around you?
Well, then you have to ask them why, and then it becomes about them. That's really what it is. Those guys are annoying. That's exactly what it is. They turn it into something about them. Like, it doesn't have to do with what you're about to say. It has to do with their
but
personal
it makes it
beef.
look like it is.
I
They
fucking
trick you.
told him that I counted every seat in the room. There's 180 seats. You told me it's a 170 seat room. You're stealing 10 seats. Oh, God. Those guys are the worst. Those guys that are getting robbed everywhere they go. And I'm not saying that people haven't been robbed
You're
before.
not legitimate. It's when it happens. Obviously, come on. Every story these people have.
So many of them have so many stories. It's like Todd Glass hasn't been ripped off. Why have you been ripped off? What the fuck is going on that you keep getting ripped off?
Who you mentioned? Oh, Vinny at Bam Squats. Oh,
well, there's certain
did a
guys.
show for him. There had to be at least 1,000 people there. Gives me a check, $80. Fuck that shit.
There's certain guys that just have an animosity towards club owners. There's almost like a natural animosity because of the fact that, like, in the beginning, they didn't want to have anything to do with you. You were like a rejected girl, that isn't mature yet. You get real emotional about it and very upset. And then when the guy comes around, you're like, where the fuck were you when I was 18, People get crazy.
Right.
And I think comedians get that way too. Then in the beginning, they're fucking terrible, so nobody wants to use you. You can't work anywhere, and you have to slowly work your way into a position where someone's actually willing to pay you to have their customers hear you talk. And that's a really kind of a special relationship. And the beginning part is so bad that we develop this weird sort of contentious relationship sometimes with club owners. And I think that's like really ridiculous. I
think you're right. I think you're right. Like, and again, because I'm overly paranoid, we're not saying that certain people haven't legitimately maybe been ripped off by a club. And when that happens, that sucks. But we're saying, like, a lot of that animosity comes from exactly what you just said. It's like, maybe you were bad then. Maybe this, maybe that, maybe, but they're not all bad people. There's a lot of good ones.
It took me a while to get the respect of the people that I came up with in Boston, like the clubs in Boston. I was headlining on the road before I was headlining back in Boston again because they saw me when I was terrible. I mean, they saw me as an open micer. I should have never been allowed to go on stage. So when you've seen someone just fucking stink it up hardcore for a year or two in the beginning of their career, it just makes sense that you wouldn't want. 5 years later, you're like, see, man, I'm not buying it. This guy's got to be still terrible. I saw him when he was an open micer. And every comedian sort of says that you have to leave your town and get success elsewhere. And then they respect it and recognize it. But if they see you when you suck, in their mind, you suck. It's really hard for people to adapt. It works that way with athletics, too. With fighting, it works that way. There's guys that believe that this guy can't beat them. There's no way that guy can beat. Meanwhile, the guy just beat you. It's craziness. It's a crazy way of thinking, but they know back when the guy sucked, and they refuse to admit that people can figure things out, that people can improve.
Yeah, I even have that happen, but I try not to. I'll think of somebody the way I thought about them. There's a comedian wanted to do a middle in Philadelphia, and I really think, well, you're probably. I go, wait, I haven't seen him in a while. And then I take the time. I'm like, oh, my God. I just got stuck in this mindset. But at least I got out of it.
I love
And the comedian that it's about, don't fucking find it if it's not you. You know it's you, but don't be so sure. You might. Okay, there's that.
You know it's you, but don't be so sure.
Yeah, there's somebody going, that has to be me. I'm from Philly. I work with Todd in Philly. Wasn't he just saying my name? Give me a plug.
People are too damn sensitive about people's assessments of them. As long as those assessments are polite, you shouldn't take it so fucking personally. You can learn from those things.
Yeah, I had a comedian once. you know what? I'm glad that I just luckily wasn't stupid because he goes, I could have easily been offended. But early in my career, he goes, we hung out during the day. And then he goes, he said this affectionately. I remember it. I was like 23, maybe 24. He goes, you're funny hanging out. He goes, what are you doing up there on stage? You know? And I was like, I knew he was fucking right. And he knew I could handle it. You know, he said something, he goes, that's what you want to be doing. But I remember thinking I could have either been like, fuck that guy. That's my story. You know what my story could have been? Then this fucking idiot tells me I'm funny off stage, but I'm not. Fuck you. I was doing better than you every night. When she might have been because he was bad, but whatever. He was honest with me. Right. And instead, the story is, thank you.
Yeah.
That's why I appreciated he said that. It made me consciously try to change that.
There was a guy that said something to me when we were both starting out together. We had been both doing it about 6 months, and I was still like, I still had my foot in another world. I was still teaching martial arts, and I was still competing, and I was really confused. And he said to me, he goes, you know, he was being a dick, totally being a dick. He goes, you started off pretty funny, man, but you lost promise. You seem to be repeating yourself, and it's just like you, I don't know, seems like you lost momentum. And I was like, wow. And I didn't argue with him. That was the weird part. I didn't like, fuck you, bitch. You know, there was none of that. I just went, wow. I got to agree with you. Like, I'm not really paying attention. A comic, an open micer that I worked with. That we were all like sort of competitive young guys and going to these clubs, trying to have some camaraderie. But there was always a lot. We were young. We were retarded. We didn't know how to communicate with each other. We didn't know how to be honest and express ourselves. And we were insecure as fuck. We were trying to be a stand-up comedian. It's the most insecure world, probably in show business. You create it all yourself. And he said something that was totally true. And I remember it stung for sure. But it made me make a clear decision to just abandon the other world, just to completely remove myself, quit my job, just get jobs like paying for things, just because this one thing this one guy said, that it helped me a lot. Like, I could say like he was being a dick when he was doing it, and I'm sure he was. I'm sure he was trying to hurt my feelings. But he was right. And because he was right, it was really beneficial. It was really important. You know, it was really important, like, for me as a comedian, first of all, to be aware that this has to apply this way. Although it's, like, very difficult to do, especially emotionally. It's very difficult to accept criticism. It's very difficult to see yourself as other people see you. But it's so fucking important. If you can't do that, like, you're gonna never continue to grow. You're gonna hit a rough spot, and then boom, you're gonna tailspin, and then that's it.
Yeah, you see that a lot.
Fuck yeah, you do.
You do.
Yeah.
And it's funny people, too. That's what's a shame. Like, it's not they're not funny, but they get caught in this.
Something goes wrong.
Yeah. Or like we said before, the ones that I remember comedians that had fuck this business attitudes. I'm not kidding. Like, now, of course, then it seemed like they've been doing comedy a long time, but like 8 years into the business.
Right.
Fuck this fucking business. Fuck this
veterans.
business. Or 2 years in, I remember a comedian having a joke. Like, hey, here. It's like, really?
That's so silly.
You're that mad?
Well, it's the same thing. It's like a rejected boy or a rejected girl, a rejected young person, I should say. It doesn't have emotional maturity, and they get angry. That's really what it is. Like, that rejection sometimes is the best fucking thing that can ever happen to you. Like, it might feel like shit, but you'll figure that out. Because of it, you're either going to quit or you're going to figure it out. You're going to have a new inspiration to do so.
You know what? I would never want to own a club. Like, when I complain about club owners, I've realized I'm not changing this. Did it seem like I'm changing the subject?
Not at all. Not at all. You're right.
I'm going.
I know exactly where you're going.
Because I do make fun of the bad clubs, and I do. I spend a lot of time making fun of the bad clubs, and they should be made fun of. Some of them they're horrible. But
right.
I also defend the good clubs. I wouldn't want to own a good club. You know why? Imagine all the fucking wackadoodle comedians fucking bothering them and getting mad at them unnecessarily. Like, you know, not all of them.
Right.
I wasn't. I remember, thank God, and I did a lot wrong, but I always knew that, like, I completely forget what I was talking
We're talking about clubs and, like, getting along with clubs. And you've made
I never
fun
got
of bad
mad at
ones.
club owners.
You never got mad at
Over
club
the years
owners.
when a club wouldn't use me, you know what? All I liked is when they told this story, and I can think of a specific club that said this. I wasn't what they wanted, but they said, you know, he was nice, and the staff liked him. He goes, it's just not my thing. But he tried to point out that I was a decent guy. And you know what? I accepted it. was like, I remember someone was like, fuck him. I go, no, he has a right. He can't love every comedian. But at least he told, that's not the story I could have told. I could have been like, oh, yeah, I could have been that same story. Could have been, even though the guy did it right and he tried to, I could have been like, fuck him. You know what he tells my manager? The staff liked you. Pfft, what the fuck's that supposed to mean? You know what I mean? Like flipping it around negative.
Totally.
Yeah. So it was and there was a few clubs over the years that wouldn't hire me. And guess what? Some do now. And, I don't want to be that person. Oh, fuck that club. Well, now they want you, so what are you going to teach them a lesson?
I love the fact that they exist.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the best things about being a comedian is the ability to work in clubs. I do some larger spots now, but I still do like the Ice House. Like I do the Ice House on a lot of Wednesday nights, and it's only like 150 people or 190 people or something like that. It's fucking amazing. It's a magical room. I mean, it's magical. It's tight. The Ice House is dark, and it's got 50 fucking years of laughs burned into it. You know, I mean, that's legit. That place, if an area or a space can encode a memory, can somehow or another capture a memory. Like if you go, my dad went to Gettysburg, and he said when he was there, he felt sad. He said it really was an overwhelming feeling of sadness. He goes, it was really hard to describe. He's not an airy-fairy sort of a woo-woo kind of a guy. And when he said that about Gettysburg, he's an architect. You know, he said that about Gettysburg. He was just something about it. It just you could feel it in the air. I really believe that. I believe a club like the Laugh Stop in Houston. Did you ever work at that place?
Oh, yeah.
That place, you walked in, you felt it in your fingers. You're like, whoa, this place is on fire.
Mark Babbitt is the reason that club used to have a great reputation. And let me tell you something. I don't wish anybody ill. I don't wish anybody ever. I don't care what they do. I do not wish anybody ill. But I do wish that your empire would fall apart. That doesn't mean anyone would be sick or homeless but I do wish your empire would fall apart. Like it did, not realizing Mark Babbitt was why you had it. They never knew that he was the soul of that place. So when he left, it went downhill. And they have no idea. To this day, do you think they have the intelligence to go, hey, what happened there? We made a huge mistake. We had a manager who fucking basically we didn't know how important he was. Mm-hmm. We fired him and the business slowly closed. No, they're just telling some other bullshit story.
Was there a matter of, I don't know, there was some sort of a legal matter. I don't want to mention what might or might not have happened because honestly, I have just rumors. Just what I heard from fucking Ralphie May.
I knew it, that fuck. I totally turned on
him. He was, a guy who really loved comedy. And that's a historic fucking club. I mean, Bill Hicks didn't Bill Hicks record one of his stand-up specials there? Saint Man, I think?
I'm not sure, but I know that.
One of his early specials.
I really just said sure, but I wasn't positive.
I think it was there. And that used to be where the annex was, where Kinnison started out and Hicks started out. Like you would walk into that Laugh Stop in River Oaks. There was two Laugh Stops. There was the one and then they moved it. And when they moved it, that's when things started getting squirrely. But the original one, you would walk into that place and you would feel the fucking energy that has been pumped out into that room. Like these people have like years and years of fucking hysterical laughter like impregnates the walls.
You want to hear?
The new place didn't have that.
Do you want to hear what you're talking about, but someone took advantage of this and works it for them when they sell homes? I swear to God, this is what a girl told me. It goes back to exactly what we're talking about. She goes, you want to know my line I say when I'm selling someone a house? She goes, I say, if house has souls, don't you feel like this has a good one? And she goes, most people are like, oh, yeah, especially if they like the house. But she's full of shit. She's lying. She's just saying that about every house. And that's such a good line that people go, it does have a good soul. And But she's working on something that does exist, as we're talking about, because I agree. There's no way those laughters, it's not just in our head. That's something there that's some energy. Yeah. When a room has had that much,
Yeah, no doubt.
That much soul,
I mean, it sounds like horse shit.
Does that make sense what
I'm
I just
sure any reasonable scientist would tell us it's horse shit.
Oh, really?
But maybe it does for us symbolically, because what that, like when I walk into the Punchline in Atlanta, Jesus Christ. I mean, that place has been around forever. It's a fucking masterfully built club. Another one. Perfect comedy club. And you see those pictures of the wall, like Richard Jeni when he was like 30. I know. And you're like, wow. Like, look at these fucking headshots. They're like all these old headshots. Like Zanies in Nashville. You ever do that place?
All you can do is look at those pictures every night and find something new to figure out about that time. I never get tired. I relook at them. I look at them. Any of those clubs, I know there's a breed of club you're talking about. It's not Helium because they haven't been open as long.
Right.
But it's those 35-year-old clubs, maybe?
Yeah.
30-year-old clubs?
Yeah.
Those walls. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
it's insane.
I remember the person I look up at the wall. Anybody that had a gimmick, I thought they were going to be really successful. Like one guy was called the Coach and had a whistle. And I was thinking, when I was like 19, I'd be like, fuck, I wish I would have thought about that. I was always so jealous. I go, that's fun. Yeah, I get it. Blows the whistle. Hey, I'm the Coach. God damn it. I was always so jealous of those. And then they tend not to be doing comedy anymore.
You know what I was really jealous of? The dudes who had like the big full page ads in that comedy guide. Do you remember the comedy guide?
I sort of do.
The comedy guide was it was an industry comedy guide that would come out like every year, like all the managers would have it. And they would these comedians would take out these giant full page ads and show like what NACA conference they performed at and performing at colleges, and they had like this really professionally done photography and shit. Like that was how comedians got the word out about them. That's how they marketed. They used to have to buy time in the industry guide and then put together some VHS tape and send it out.
The cards. Did you ever have a comedy card?
No, never had we had a card once to promote a website that I put out to promote my website.
Okay, there's that.
But there was never one for like I'm appearing in this town, like with like pointing to the right and the big.
Someone told me.
When am I coming to you?
Someone told me that my track record is this, and then I'll tell you what somebody told me George Carlin said. But at least I wish I could have said I never had a card. But I'm proud to say, if I'm going to be 100% honest, I had one for like a month, and then I just didn't like the smell of it, so I got rid of it. I know. Yeah, I was like, oh, Todd Glass, comedian. I was like, oh shit. I think I saw some other comedian with a card. I'm like, I should have cards, And then I got rid of them. So now I'm glad because somebody at the George Carlin was talking about cards backstage at the Comedy Magic Club, and basically said, he goes, cards, the comedian doesn't have a fucking card, Yeah. And then the comedian that had the cards sort of felt like he took them very quickly over to the trash because he had just gotten cards.
Yeah, that was a thing about headshots back in Boston. Anybody who's any good had a shitty headshot. They didn't give a fuck about their headshots.
Right. You could see that same path.
They would talk about it like if you hire a photographer to do your headshot, you fucking suck on stage. They would always say that. That was like that was the thing.
Why is it just such an unspoken? Are there exceptions? Yes, but no. Mostly, that's such a great.
Well, there's something that makes you want to take a picture of yourself and be all sexy looking. That's uber douchey, and it doesn't translate into comedy.
Jeez.
There's some guys who could ham it up. Like I remember Kevin Knox had like a really zany like headshot, but it worked for him because that was like his act. Like he was a wild, energetic guy.
What if I talk about how bad that is and I agree with you, but then you guys pull online a picture of me with my shoe as a phone? Todd, we found this picture of you. I go, oh, that with the shoe? Yeah, I was acting like it was a phone. Nobody did that then. No, I was really the first.
You know what my favorite is? Guys who do characters and they have like multiple characters on their headshots. Like, this is the hillbilly. This is the doctor.
Does anybody still do that, you think?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Someone was on the podcast. I don't know who to credit for this, but they were talking about how you guys would know, you guys would remember, about how the genre of prop comedy is gone. Carrot Top removed it. You can't be a prop guy anymore. But when we were starting out, that was an option. There was like prop guys. There was, regular stand-up comics. There was dirty guys. There was prop guys. The prop guy doesn't exist anymore. You never see the prop guy anymore. Carrot Top essentially just dominated the market so thoroughly that everybody else abandoned it.
Let me say this. If somebody out there was willing, this is a real offer. To let's say they had money and they think it's a good idea, and then I will give them 40% of all my income. If somebody goes, I will pay for it, Todd, we build him a great prop act. Like we hire writers, and it's like an anti-prop act. I would go tour with it. If somebody was willing to put money into it, like produce it, we're going to hire, we're going to build this, it's going to be a truck, it's going to go, and you're going to do but we're going to put money into it. Somebody out there, a promoter, half creator, half promoter, thinks, I'd fucking do that.
You would actually
not 40%. I want to put it down on record, but we will talk about the fee.
You would actually be the perfect guy to put together like a fake prop act.
Yeah.
Like a prop act that
with
mocks prop acts.
Yeah, like, but no disrespect to
Not
Carrot Top.
disrespect to
Yeah,
it. No,
it's
no,
just,
no.
It would be just like the opposite of it. Like there'd be like these weird, like I don't know.
You would just make it shitty the way, like if you're going to make fun of a comedian, you tell a bunch of shitty jokes and, and yell the punchline out. You're not disrespecting comedy.
Right.
You're disrespecting shitty comedy.
Right.
So that was what you would do. You would be disrespecting a shitty prop act.
Yes, and it would be just almost a mock of a prop act that didn't put a lot of time into his props.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like tape. He's like pulling things out that are obviously, and they're not even. He goes, "It used to be taped together." He shows the crowd.
There was a few guys that were like combination. They would like have a few props and they would do comedy.
Yes.
Do you remember
Dennis Miller?
Lenny Schultz? Do you remember Lenny Schultz? Crazy Lenny?
Jesus Christ.
He would pick up a fucking Smokey the Bear. Okay, he had a Smokey the Bear doll, and he would go, "Only you can prevent forest fires." Then he'd go, "Fuck you," and punch the bear in the head. It was so ridiculous. He would knock the bear like through the crowd, like "fuck you," boom. Just completely silly.
Duncan Trussell kind of does a prop act, or used to with Lil Hobo.
Well, it's hacky.
That's a little different, though. There's another level. That's the other level.
Yeah.
That's the puppet master guy. The puppet is another genre that kind of Jeff Dunham has pretty much dominated now. I mean, there's still a few other guys. Like there's the guy Fator. What's his name? Fader. Terry Fader. Terry Fader.
Oh, yeah.
Who's a big one in Vegas as well. But that's there's not like many young guns out there with a fucking taking a doll to a comedy club. It's not a lot of guys that are rocking that act. Well, what do you think, Sammy?
I think, he the visual of the hand just instantly, I just picture a comedy club I was just at a week ago. What are the odds a guy would walk up on stage seriously, "Hey, everybody," and you put your hand up and made the fake puppet.
Well,
like,
the best of all time, in my opinion, is Otto and George.
Yeah.
The best of all time. I worked with Otto. We did a gang of gigs in Dangerfields in New York. We did prom shows, which were hellacious. Have you ever done the prom show?
Oh, I've done one or two.
When they have them in New York City, where they just keep funneling the people into the club, they get these kids from high schools and they bring them in, and they don't end the show. They tell you to do new material every time. And they tell you not to do new material. They tell you to do the same material every time, so that they would realize that the show is over, because they never cleaned the place out. They just kept packing kids in there, violating every fire code in existence, and it would go on till 5 o'clock in the morning. I mean, you would start working at 8 at night, and you would do shows until 5 o'clock in the morning. They would just keep rotating the lineup. I would leave, and it would be light out. It was madness. But for like a young comic, it's pretty good, because it's like $75 a set or something like that, and you're packing all those sets together. It was a good chunk of money for comedians. So a lot of us did it. And Otto and I did that, and we did a couple clubs.
I never got to work with him that much. I only got to see him like 3 times live.
So
I remember just punching. You know what's nice when you go to see someone like that, and the people around you, like, enjoy him as much as you do. Like, a ton of people really fucking enjoy him. And then I feel like there's like people like me that go, "It's fucking, I can't handle it." I want to be around those people. And we were. The last time I saw him, the couple next to me, husband and wife, I found out, we just started punching each other. And we're glad we had someone to punch, And the people ahead of us were sort of the same way. Everyone else was loving it, but we were definitely going, "I'm going to die." It was just it is at a comedy festival, and he was saying how desperate all the comedians were. It was just, and then you have to understand, I felt like I never saw him my whole life. When he goes, like something happens, and then George, I get it mixed up right now. I'm talking about
Otto and George.
Otto would say, ask the woman in the crowd, like, "Hey, how are you?" And then the puppet would mock him because how bad his crowd work was. He goes, "Holy shit, are you shitting me? That's what you, hey, how are you? You stopped the show for, hey, how are you?" Oh, he goes, but like to see a puppet really dig into a human being, I'd never seen that. And for me, that was fucking unbelievable.
He used to have a fucking thing he was working on. It was Kennedy getting shot in the head, and so the puppet's head would flip back like a flop of scalp. He goes, "And I want to figure out how to put a brain in there, maybe squirt blood out of it."
That's hilarious.
He was so funny, and people would get mad. They would go, "I see your lips moving." Like he didn't try to hide that his lips are moving. Like, is he not understanding what he's doing?
I see your lips. Guess what? That has to be certifiably no bullshit. A problem with a mental disability.
It's a fucking puppet. Of course, his lips are moving. Just pay attention to what he's doing.
But that's someone there that was taking it for face value. Oh, well,
there
yeah.
He
I
is.
mean, how was he? Well, I didn't hardly get past the lips. I saw his lips moving. So
there's Otto
not
and George.
Professional.
Obviously,
he's still doing club dates.
Oh yeah, he's a maniac, but he's just so crazy. Otto's he's fucking hilarious.
What was that picture of me?
You in a prop?
What was it? You in a bag?
Oh, did somebody make that? Did I used to do props? I got nervous. No, I don't think I did that ever. Did I do that, or did they Photoshop that?
It looks like it was like a red carpet event. You from American Beauty or something like that.
Oh, Jesus.
I wonder if there's hope for the what would they call them? Puppet acts? What's the
Somebody will have to do it great.
Ventriloquist.
Ventriloquist? Yeah. I wonder. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a genre that could be fucked with. You know, Duncan did it, but he only did it for like this one bit, which is hilarious.
It's beautiful.
Little Hobo's this evil puppet that killed his grandfather, and he does this one bit. I mean, it's fucking genius. But it's not a lot of like young guys. When you go to a club, it's very rare that you see a young guy that's a puppet act.
Yeah, you don't. Is there anything else we're not thinking of?
Willie Tyler and Lester. He was another famous one.
Yeah. No, I mean that you don't think of another type of comedy. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, any style.
And when I think of someone doing it, I think of somebody as maybe mocking it. Mm-hmm. That's what. But what about not mocking it? Could somebody come back and make it? It was just that good, and they write. Why can't it be good banter between the puppet and the person?
It's certainly. Well, it is with Otto.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. But we're
that
excluding
Jeff Dunham
him.
Guys, he's got some jokes where he goes back and forth with the puppet that are pretty fucking funny.
Well, then that to me is always amazing. But the cliche stuff. It's like, come on, like that.
I think Jeff Dunham does it like more of like family friendly. Like he tries intentionally to sort of.
Is there a good psychic? Does that exist?
Well, I mean, like
Funny.
comedian psychics. I've never even heard of one. I've heard of comedy hypnotists.
Do you have
That's what I meant.
Oh, okay.
Do you have an opinion on that?
Oh, it works. It definitely works. Yeah, comedy hypnotism is 100% real.
Okay, here's why I'm sort of not that you're the all-knowing, but you probably broke it down without even getting into detail. You probably shredded the fuck out of it, so I think you probably know the right answer. So I'm glad, because here's what my problem with is if it was fake. And I thought,
No.
I can't explain it, but here's what I used to say. I can't explain it. I don't. But here's the one thing: if it's fake, how come never do those audience members on stage break? Never. Now, so. Are they in some what's happening here?
They can tell a good guy whether someone's under or not. And some people you just can't hypnotize. I think there's really some people that have brains that are easier to hack.
I agree.
I think you could just get into them. I'll tell you this for a fact, because I worked with a guy named Frank Santos, the R-rated hypnotist. I worked with him many, 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 many times back in the Boston days when I was an open micer, and I was 100% skeptical the first time I saw it. I was like, this is bullshit. These people are all just faking it. But then when you watch a guy actually come in his pants and you watch people do things that he's telling them to do, then you realize, oh, wait a minute, I'm a control freak. It would never work on me. But it works on some people. Some people, especially in that context, it actually might work better because they're nervous and they get on stage and there's a bright light and this guy just knows how to lock you in and tell you what to do. You're going to breathe, and on the count of 5, you're going to just go. You're going to go to sleep, relax, all the muscles in your body. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he would touch these guys and they would fucking collapse.
By the way, for me, I could just feel that. I swear to God. No, I mean, I just let it in 3 seconds just to go. Someone is counting down. Let your shoulders down. Like just so. But
he was a real hypnotist first, and then he got into comedy hypnotism.
Let me ask you this, and someone that knows a lot about this might even say, well, no, Todd, that's not hypnotism. But what even if it's this? Because, look, they get laughs, and the average person, they get laughs. How's it feel to get laughs? It feels unfucking believable. So let's say, even if a naysayer said, tries to answer the question this way, I still might not negate its hypnotism, but what if a naysayer said, no, they're just getting laughs, and when people get those type of laughs, they get comfortable. So they let their guard down because everything they do is getting a laugh. They're getting a laugh because there's a professional up there making it happen.
Right.
So maybe they get more comfortable. So the more weirdness is thrown at them, they're getting the laugh. It feels good. And they go to you're still taking them somewhere. As if you're doing it through laughter. You're taking them somewhere to do some shit that they're not doing in their normal lives.
Yeah. I don't know what the conscious interpretation of the person who's actually doing it. Do some of them see what they're doing? Do other ones see something that's not even there? I don't understand that, because one of them he said he had a weird way of talking, a very strange accent. And he would say, you're about to make love to Madonna. Madonna's on the ground. She's naked. You're on top of her. You're going to make love to Madonna. And this guy starts fucking. I mean, he starts fucking. And the crowd
Where's
starts...
this at?
This is at Stitches Comedy Club in Boston. This is Stitches 2, the second Stitches. There's one that was attached to the Paradise. It was this old school place. That's the first place that I ever performed in an open mic night. But that place went under, and then they opened up a new place, and this was at the new place. The guy came in his pants. I saw the guy come in his pants. I didn't go look at it, but it was pretty obvious that the guy came in his pants. And he was embarrassed, and everyone was laughing, and he didn't know what the fuck they were laughing at. He was gone. He was in a weird other place. And when he snapped him out of it, you could tell. The guy, I don't think that they're that good of an actor. I think that you are skeptical because it wouldn't work on you at all. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it would work on me either. But think about some of the shit that people are willing to do. Think about cults. Think about people joining cults. They think about people that believe that some guy who lives in Siberia is Jesus. And so they're going to set up these huts and live up there with Jesus because Jesus is back and he lives in Siberia. You have to be, there's something that has to be, really wrong with your brain for you to accept that. I think people's brains are different just like people's dicks are different. That's what I think. And I think some people, you can just tell them what to do, and they'll just lock into it and just do it.
Yeah, because if we know that the first part of what you said is true because it's happened in the past. People following cults. So what if that light is someone just doing that for an hour? They'll do that. Why won't you just go? There's right. People. Yeah, there's a lot of. You're right. I always forget that I'm really, but then you think that's you. I'm thinking of me.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of me.
Yeah, you can't think of you because you have an extraordinary job. You have a very unusual amount of people that you come in contact with and share your ideas with. And you're on stage all the time. This your comfort level with humans is different than the average person's comfort level because you experience humans in this really extreme state, the state of a stand-up comedy club. So it's real hard to just hypnotize a guy like you. But there's some people out there that have 9-volt brains, and everybody else has a bunch of those lithium ions they use to run a Tesla. Not this motherfucker. He's got a 9-volt brain. Just like God gives some men 2-inch penises, this guy has a 9-volt brain, and that is what he's got. And I say this from a person who's very acutely aware of how smart I am or how lack of smart I am. You put a math problem in front of me, I start fucking drooling. I'm an idiot. I'm really bad when it comes to math. I'm shockingly bad. It's just shit I'm not good at even slightly. But I know that. I'm not confused. You know what I mean?
Could it, because you're able to know where you're right. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So
I know there's different levels. I know there's people that are way smarter than me. I just know it. I've met them.
So wait, because mathematically, I feel like I'm horrible at math too, right? I know I didn't choose that.
Yeah.
So you're saying there might be people that get the math thing, but then socially are given these 9-volt batteries, and you think it's not changeable?
I think it is. I think if I had interest in mathematics, but what I'm saying is I don't, and because I don't have any knowledge of it. So I'm really dumb when it comes to that subject. It's not something I've ever pursued. So because of that, I completely lack any comprehension of really advanced calculus, and you see those physics guys. I have zero knowledge of what that is. It's because when I was a kid, I associated it very early with something incredibly boring. And because I did that, I just never put any effort into it whatsoever. It wasn't rewarding to me. I think that's what makes things. You should have a comprehensive knowledge of how to count and divide and all those things. Absolutely, but it doesn't appeal to everybody. And to make a guy like you or make a guy like me chase after like really complex math, it's not really beneficial because it's not going to do anything more than let us know that we don't really like math, especially in this day and age. Because there's a finite amount of time to learn things when you're in high school, finite amount of time in college, and finite amount of time when you have a job. It's a fucking small amount. So cut out all the shit you're not really that interested in. There's plenty of fucking calculators out there. Stop trying to be Mr. Renaissance Man when it comes to knowledge. There's a calculator, punch in those numbers, get it done. It's really easy.
You know how bad
or be a math guy. You know?
I'm so bad at math. Now, granted, this looks sadder. This is going to tell sadder than it is, but it is a true story. So it all has to do with math and how bad I am. And I have to tell you that I like bubble tape. There's a reason I have to tell you that. So I don't know why, but I'll buy bubble tape.
That's the pop stuff?
No, comes in. It's like baseball tape, and you pull a piece out. You can make it like 10 feet long. You know, it's all like you know what I'm talking about?
What the heck?
It's like one big long piece of gum, and then you pull it out.
It's gum?
Yeah.
Like you chew gum?
Oh,
Yeah. Bubble tape gum.
Oh, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's hard to.
Oh, all right.
Most people listening are probably they'll know.
Okay.
I'm like that's like a nice way of me going. Everyone knows but you. I think, but I could be wrong.
I bet you're right. I'm an idiot.
So anyway, I'm on the plane and I'm horrible with numbers, and I have like. I have a checkbook and I'm opening it up, you know, and I'm counting with my fingers and I'm figuring something out. And also then I take a piece of bubble tape and I eat it at the same time. And then there's a guy in my periph, and I look at him and I go, oh my God, I thought instantly what he had just seen. Like, not a man my age counting with his fingers, you know, pulling, eating bubble tape. There's no way he thinks I have any amount of success. He has to think, oh, that poor guy, good for him. He can even get on a plane. And like, go. I wanted to look at him, no, I swear everything's going all right. It looks very archaic, but I don't, like, I'm aware. So
it's funny that's eccentric, like to eat a childish sort of candy that we have like it categorized like this is candy for children.
Well, it's true. It's like God forbid, and I don't, so don't worry about judging me. Those big lollipops you can get.
Oh yeah.
What if you really like those?
You nothing wrong with it.
But you can't go out as a full-grown adult eating one of those big lollipops.
I think you should be able to do whatever the fuck you want.
If you had knickers on, you could.
I think it's so stupid.
Can I tell you? I wish you liked those lollipops, and I'll tell you why. Because if you did, I'd hang out with you every night and
just
just
so
see.
we can just eat those lollipops.
If anyone gave you shit, I would love to see it. What's the matter? You know, I like these lollipops.
They're
I think
delicious.
You would address it. The lollipop industry would love you because they'd be like, it's nice Joe Rogan's out there. They give him shit about eating a big lollipop. He tells them to go fuck himself.
I'm single-handedly bringing back the fanny pack, Todd Glass. Single-handedly. I wear it everywhere. I wear it every time I go on the road. People point to it and go, get the fuck out of here. And I go, yeah, I'm wearing a fanny. It's fucking easy. It's easy to travel with.
You know what?
I love it.
I don't know if I'll ever wear one, but I've said this a million times. Why can't the fanny pack be cool to wear?
It is.
Because I have shit. My phone some nights just with where to put pot.
Look at that lollipop.
Look at the Asian.
That's exactly the one I was thinking of.
I would eat one of those.
Both of them.
Yeah, I mean,
How dare you? Todd Glass got confused. Look at that fucking lollipop. That's a lot of sugar, son. How much sugar is that, Todd Glass?
I don't know.
That's a fucking hard piece of sugar that weighs pounds.
I don't think
that probably puts you in a straight diabetic coma.
A girl should not eat that and not be looking for, and a guy or a girl. If you're out licking that lollipop nonstop at a bar, and I don't think you're going to attract some weirdos.
Or some people who really admire your tongue.
Exactly. Yeah.
Maybe you have a really sweet tongue. I mean, some girls stick their tongues out and they go all the way down their chin, and yeah.
But I'm saying your friends would say that you're licking that lollipop in public. You're only going to attract the wrong type of guys.
You're going to attract the right type of guys. Fuck it. Let's get it. As Joey Diaz would say, let's get this party started. Yeah. Brian, okay, all right. Listen, stop it, Brian. Stop it. You're confusing everything. Yeah, well, I think like lollipops, like anything else, man. Like whatever the fuck you like. We aren't here for a long time. If you like something, just say you like it and say why you like it. And when I say I was bringing back the fanny pack, people thought I was joking. I'm like, I really never stopped wearing one. When I travel, I'd wear them. The people would constantly mock me. I'm like, I don't care. I think it's insane that I can wear a backpack and no one gives a shit. But if I wear a pack down here, all of a sudden it's something that's funny. I'm like, I'm not playing that game.
Here's the thing. You're right. But here's the problem. Like, I know you're right. And not only do I know you're right, but there's the end part. I've said it over the last year so many times, especially if you have a pipe or a key. I don't like to have my phone in my. I thought, gee, God damn it, why can't fanny packs, like I just said, why can't they be cool to wear?
We're bringing them back, Todd Glass.
Well, I don't know if I have I don't know if I have. I'd be too insecure. I'd be too insecure. Just everywhere I went, people would be like, "Look, that guy's wearing a fanny pack."
You would feel like you were being courageous.
But it makes sense.
Courageous and just carrying stuff. Wear sweatpants. Fuck it. Sweatpants and a fanny pack. Fuck it. Who am I dressing up for? Some nice soft cotton sweatpants. Those are like the most comfortable things ever. You know, but we never wear them. No, let me get my fucking stiff-ass, stupid plastic pants on.
You know what? I was last night in Santa Barbara, and it was Halloween, and there were some people walking around in costumes. I go, forget about the costume and what it is, just what they're able to wear, like a onesie.
Right.
Walking around with comfortable slippers. And I go, they're comfortable. Like, why can't they do that every night? Maybe minus the costume part of it. But like I thought, how many people are getting to walk the streets in a freedom? It's like it's like swimming naked in a bathtub or in a pool, probably. They're just walking around like with all that just comfortable shit.
Yeah.
Right? Right? Because you were saying, why can't we just walk around and
Yeah.
like why in a
with fanny pack.
Yeah, but what were the type of pants you said?
Oh, sweatpants.
Yeah, like nothing's more comfortable than sweatpants. So
Nothing.
At one point, we're giving up anything. We've developed the most comfortable pair of pants there is, but we choose to go, well, but that's...
Somebody gave me a pair of these slippers that are like kind of like borderline between slippers and a shoe. It's real close. I think they're like Uggs for men or something like that. The inside is all fleecy.
It's comfortable.
They're so comfortable. And so a friend of mine came over, and I put them on, and I go, "Hey man, what's up?" And he goes, "What are you wearing? Fucking slippers?"
Are they the Crocs, the ones with the?
No, they weren't Crocs. They're like leather on the outside, but they have like a lining, and the lining is like fleece, like lambskin or whatever the hell they have. But he was like, "What is that? A slipper?" I was like, "It's a fucking shoe or something." But to him, it was like, "Are you wearing slippers, bro?"
You're like, why are you wearing slippers?
What are you trying to have fucking your feet be all soft? It was weird.
Yeah, he's against. Why
are you wearing something that feels good? Why are you wearing slippers?
Well, that's. He doesn't realize it. That's the thing. He doesn't realize. But breaking it down, that's what he's saying. What are you? You're wearing something that's more comfortable than everybody else?
You're wearing slippers and you're wearing a fanny pack.
I might even say the same thing, but at least I'm willing to. You know what? I'm not. From now on, if I see someone wearing slippers, you know what I'm gonna do? Go. It's a great idea.
It's a fucking wonderful idea.
How about Rodney? I mean, he. That's why. I mean, I want to live to be the age where I can show up at the improv in my pajamas. I took that for granted when I used to see him doing that. Didn't he sort of wear pajamas and his slippers?
Yeah, he would wear a bathrobe on stage with nothing underneath it. I was working. This is when I was working. I saw him. I was getting paid to work in an arena. I was working at Great Woods Center for the Performing Arts when I was 19, and Rodney was there backstage. He didn't give a fuck. He had no underwear on, no clothes on. He wore a fucking bathrobe, and everybody's like, his cock is just fucking hanging out. He doesn't give a shit. Rodney was, hey, what do you say, kid? What do you say? He'd be back there just getting fired up on weed, and he would go on stage in his bathrobe, and he fucking destroyed. There's him in his bathrobe. That's how he would dress backstage. Look, his balls would be peeking out. It's not bullshit. He didn't give a fuck. He didn't give a fuck, man. He didn't want to wear anything but a bathrobe. And so he would go on stage like that, and he would feel so funny because he was fucking naked up there. And it was half of the fun.
That was great.
Half of the fun of the show.
I never knew the bathrobe thing. All I knew was the pajamas. But that's just beautiful.
I'll never forget, man. I guess I was probably 19 years old, and I was in this back area where the performers go right before they go on stage. And I got a glimpse of Rodney, like pacing before he went on in his bathrobe. And I had no comedic aspirations back then whatsoever, like zero. But I always loved stand-up comedy. And so I remember looking in there and going, holy shit, that's fucking Rodney Dangerfield right there. And he's in a bathrobe. And then they would all tell me, like the guys who were backstage, the security was doing back there, they were like, dude, his balls are hanging out. He's just partying. He gives zero fucks. He's like 70 or something.
That's great.
I don't know how old he was back then, but he had to be in his 60s, like deep in his 60s. He was still doing blow. He didn't give a fuck. He was a maniac.
You know, the way
awesome.
the way I explain what it was like to meet Rodney, I was trying to explain this. I think over the years, like I think once when I was somebody in my family or something, I was like, it was very hard, but I think I can do a better job of it now. But like, you know how we'll never get to meet Homer Simpson?
Yeah.
He's a character.
Right.
And you're not going to get to meet Peter from the family. You know, these are, you don't get to meet them.
Yeah.
But you get to meet Rodney. Like,
Yeah.
you're not supposed to get to meet him. He's so larger than life that it's hard. Yeah, I have seen other people that are on TV when I was younger. And when I saw them in public, yes, I was like, oh, yeah, there's that person. But Rodney was different. It was like, what the fuck? That's real.
Yeah.
Because he was such, like a cartoon character. You know what I mean? In a good way. He was
And the movies, too.
And he was like larger than life.
Yeah,
it sounded like I just was disrespectful. But
no,
he
didn't sound like that at all.
Yeah. He was. It was amazing. And then he knew, and he capitalized on it later with the suit and the red tie. And there you see this. Oh my God! So anything he said, I went once to see Bob Nelson open up for him. And it's not a great story, but it's all I've got. So any little piece that I happen to have anything happen with Rodney, I'm happy, So I remember seeing him and being like, that was just weird. And then Bob goes, hey, this is Todd. He's from Philly. And he goes, that's good. Philadelphia needs him. And we laughed so hard because it was funny. But later when he left, I went, what did that mean? I don't know. No one knew. It didn't matter what it meant. It was Rodney. And it's not like we were fake laughing. It was just him fucking being that funny. They go, hey, Philadelphia needs him. It was funny, I
got a chance to see him live then, and then several years later at the Laugh Factory, rather. I got to see him in the Laugh Factory on Sunset a couple times there.
Like when? Like what year?
I would say it was the 90s.
And how was it? Did he go up and do a pretty tight set?
Amazing. He was killer. He was killer even back then. I mean, he didn't go on stage and half-ass it, that's for sure. He was crushing. He was really fun, and he was just chilling, hanging out. His wife was with him, attractive woman who's like, 30, 40 years younger than him. And he just looked like he was having a great fucking time. He rode that thing right into the fucking rocks. He took that boat and just, and rode it right into the rocks. He's 70 years old, and he's crushing on stage, partying, hanging out with a hot senorita.
Jesus Christ.
He was an animal.
That's so much like, that's when you look at it from that perspective, it's like just amplifies what you already know is like, yeah, fucking he really did.
Yeah, he really did.
Do you think, I'm sure a lot of it's true, but the thing that most people know is like by the time he could enjoy it, he felt it was too late, but he still had a lot of fun, right?
Yeah. Oh, he had a great fucking time.
Yeah.
He was Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah,
he was nice to people, too. That was the other thing about Rodney. He helped comics out. His HBO specials were legendary. Like, a lot of people don't really even know, like, what a huge stand-up he was. He was a huge comedian. Like, Great Woods, where I worked, where he performed, I mean, I don't know how many thousands of people it is. It has to be at least like 7,000 or 8,000 people in the part that's covered. And then there's like this back like hill area that's like the grass, which is all like open wandering around. It was really crazy. Like their idea was ridiculous. Because the idea was you would take these people and some of them would be seated in this beautiful amphitheater. And then past them, you would just stuff the grass with this enormous patch of grass with savages who couldn't hear anybody who was talking on stage. So it was really unfortunate because like he
That's
would
where
be
you saw him?
Yeah. I got to see him close though. I heard it. But then I went to the grass because people were complaining. They were coming down. They would say, hey, we can't understand a fucking word he's saying. We got tickets to the grass. And so I went out to the grass and I was like, oh no, you couldn't hear anything. It was this weird echoey thing. So when it would come out of the amphitheater, you had no idea what he's talking about. You'd hear people laugh, and you would go, oh, fuck, this is terrible. So it ripped all these people off. And so they unfortunately didn't get a chance to see him, but he was in his prime, man. He was a really funny guy. But his big thing was helping other comedians. Those HBO comedy festivals launched Kinnison, launched Dice Clay, launched Bill Hicks.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to give him a huge compliment. And it's not like I'm complimenting myself because I don't know if we only can live to see if I got to that point if I did what Rodney did. But up to now, I haven't. So I'm not doing it from a place of judgment. So it's nobody's job to come and help other comedians. So I'm not saying it from that point of view. No.
I know what you're saying.
It's just sometimes you get someone that loves comedy so much that on their own they go, you know what? There's some people I know are fucking funny. Back then it wasn't even TV. There wasn't a lot of avenues, so it was Rodney's specials. They weren't getting on the Tonight Show. Some did both, but a lot were like his vehicle. So no one since Rodney has ever done that.
No. No one.
And if I'm wrong, I want to know. I don't want to be, I'm not saying like if somebody looks something up and goes, this comedian did, I'd be like, well, they're cool too.
Martin Lawrence, didn't he? No. Robert Townsend did a few of those.
He did a few of those?
Didn't he do a few of those? Where he brought up different comics, like Damon Wayans, I remember did one.
Then
yeah.
So I like that.
That's a guy that kind of disappeared. Robert Townsend, remember that guy?
Yeah.
Whatever happened to that guy?
Yeah, that's a good question.
He just sort of, I don't know what happened to that dude.
He was really respected.
He was hilarious. He was really funny. Didn't he do, what did he do? It wasn't the Hollywood Shuffle, was it?
I don't know.
What was this movie?
I'm not good with movies.
Yeah, I'm not either, man. Yeah, Robert Townsend.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he was hilarious, man. Whatever happened to
I remember
that
that special where he came out. What was the special where he came out and he was talking in the accent and then he broke character after like a minute?
I don't remember.
That was on one of Rodney's, maybe.
Was it?
Yeah. But anyway, I hope that came out right because that's just very admirable that Rodney did that. And you know what made it even more admirable? Because he was so big. It's not like he needed it. Certain comedians may have done it when they're at a point in their career when it needs them or they need it. Rodney didn't need that.
Right.
I think he used his power to get a special and do something you wanted to do. I don't think he needed that. Like, Rodney, they called you. They want you to host this. It was something he perpetuated that he had sort of moved past. That's why it was sort of cool.
This is Robert Townsend right here. Is this Hollywood Shuffle?
That's Meteor Man.
Meteor Man. He did a lot of really funny movies, man. And he was a funny comic, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's he doing now?
I don't know.
Where is he?
Maybe he just said, you know what, I'm good. He's only 56.
You know who also dresses like pretty much how they want on stage and almost every day is Don Barris. He'll just wear like boxers and like a jetpack.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, be uncomfortable.
What do you wear on stage?
Whatever I'm wearing. I'd like to wear something that's not too distracting. I like to wear something that's comfortable. I usually like to wear I wear Converse All-Stars pretty much every day. Once I started wearing those, I realized if I wear a regular shoe now, like anything that has a heel, like a running shoe, it feels weird to be like in that different posture. You're not supposed to stand like that. You're supposed to stand flat. So I wear like them because they're flat and comfortable.
You feel like you're tilting forward.
You are. It's so rare for me. The only time I wear shoes is when I do the UFC.
Do you think like even I know exactly what you're talking about because I've put I get used to it after a while, but there's a pair of boots, and after I'm not wearing them for a while, I go, what am I?
Yeah, what's a
I'm
fucking
tilting
heel?
forward here. So
It's a
imagine
weird
how
heel,
women
too.
do that. Do you think that? Yes, I'm going to take from that to this, but I'm curious of your opinion on this. Do you think like for women wearing high heels, it might hurt them more than they maybe think? Because it's a horrible thing to do to yourself.
I think it's probably really difficult to do every day. I think women who wear them every day to their job, like they wear high heels around the office constantly, if that's all you wear at work, I got to think that's brutal and punishing on your feet. I got to think that.
Yeah.
I don't see how it couldn't be.
Could you be doing? Let me ask you this. Some people go, could you be doing it just for yourself? Instead of hooding it from, know, so you could, no, I don't, you could be?
Yeah, they can do it for other girls. There's a misperception about women that everything they do is to attract men. And that certainly has some merit to it, but it's not everything. They also do it to show up other girls.
Yeah.
Like girls, and to be like impressive to other girls. Oh, that's that Chinese thing, that foot binding thing that they do.
Whoa.
Where they smash their feet down. They want their feet to be small. People are so crazy. The size of the feet means so much to them.
Oh, my God.
They have to bind their feet up into these crazy positions. Oh, that's so crazy.
Look at that.
Out of all the things that people do, that is one of the weirdest ones. All the body modification things that people do culturally, like really common body modifications, the foot binding one is so bizarre. Like really, really fucking weird.
Yeah, that's not just respecting other cultures. There's
torture.
a problem.
It's torture. There's something insane about it. Women in Africa that are the Suri women who are I think it's Suri, where they make that big plate in their face. The young ones are rejecting it now. They're going, fuck that. This is crazy. Like I'm not wearing a fucking plate in my lip anymore. And like they're getting sort of like there's a cultural rift where the young ones don't want to knock their teeth out and wear this plate. You have to knock your lower teeth out to wear those plates. It's fucking crazy.
Well, and now their knowledge because we're in a computer age where they're that's. Whew.
They're not even getting. I don't even think they're getting that much impact from the computer world in these like really remote tribes. I'm not sure. I'm probably wrong. There's probably someone with a laptop and a fucking cellular connection that gets online or something. But I gotta feel like you're really in a super tribal environment. They've topless, wearing skins and stuff. Like some of them, it's like really crazy. Like how similar the way they're living today as the way they were living like hundreds of thousands of years ago.
What were we talking about, right? Like just leading up to this, but the same thing.
Body modifications, foot binding.
Oh yeah, the foot binding.
Yeah.
What I was thinking, and there's got to be one of your listeners could look this up for you guys, or you could. There's got to be someone that's living today that did that, but moved past it. In this world, there's got to be one that tells a story.
Undo your foot. I think once your foot's bound up, you're fucked.
Or did it, but then you're right. I'm sorry. Did it and then tells the story. Like move past it mentally is a point. Going, that was what am I doing? And how to people. I
don't know how you would do that though. Like
got to be somebody.
Your foot is stuck like that forever.
No, undo your thought. Like explain the thought process.
I think it's just cultural conditioning. We have a really weird problem as human beings that once a group of us start doing a thing, even if that thing is ultimately detrimental, once a group of us start doing it, people want to join in. It seems normal. We can rationalize because other ones are doing it. It makes sense. That's how the lip thing gets started. You put this giant plate in your lip, and the bigger the plate, the more cattle you're worth. What is that noise? Do you hear that?
You know what I thought it was? I thought you were bringing in like
a sound effect.
Yeah,
it's like a.
Oh, it's an
it sounds like a.
Is it an airplane?
Yeah,
it's a plane crashing. Space shuttle. Okay, whatever. What was my point?
I was doing my ventriloquism. That's pretty good. Look.
What was my point? What was I talking about?
We were talking about the modification, the foot binding thing.
All that stuff is really bizarre.
Yeah.
The foot binding, the lip thing. It's really bizarre that there's these cultures out there that are really still like super, super primitive. To this day. Apparently a lot of them are like really fucking happy and healthy though. That's the weird thing about these indigenous people. When you find them, you don't find a lot of like problems that a lot of people in the city have, like psychological problems. It's very rare. It's very rare that people have like psychological issues.
Well, they're the winners, right?
Are they?
I mean, seriously. Oh, if they're happy.
I guess so.
Jesus.
But I don't think it's impossible to be happy in this world. I think that there's a lot of people that don't get there. But I think it's possible. I think it's possible for anybody to be happy in this world.
I agree.
I think that this world, though, is insanely complex, and it requires a much more rigid idea of what you're going to accept and not accept in your life, and what you're going to put out there and what you're going to try to get back. I think it's very, very, very complex. This is an insanely intricate and woven society. And these cultural tribes is really what we're designed for. We're designed for these hut environments, these places where there's 500 of us that live in a village together. That's what we're designed for psychologically. That's what our brains are designed for. But when you jack it up to 7 billion people in contact with each other, it's going to require some adjustments, and that's what we're going through right now. It's not that it's going to be impossible for people to be happy in this crazy day and age. It's just a little bit more difficult to manage. And it brings me to this movie that I just watched. I was on a plane coming back from England, and I watched Summertime in Paris. I think that's what it is. Is that Woody Allen's movie? Was it Summertime in Paris? Let me see if it's the Owen Wilson movie.
It's so hot out here.
Well, that's what was really funny. He was doing Woody Allen movie. Come on, what's the movie? Springtime in Paris?
Forget your troubles. Come on, get happy.
When you Google Woody Allen,
listening to an American.
Midnight in Paris. That's what it is. Midnight in Paris. Sorry, not Summertime. And it was hilarious. In this weird, it was a good movie first of all, but it was.
What's it about?
It's about a guy. It's basically a Woody Allen movie. He's Woody Allen. Owen Wilson's doing Woody Allen, like even his mannerisms.
But he's not admitting it.
No, he's not admitting it at all. He's like, is this a trailer for it?
Is that one of those things that nobody will...
Watch how he does it. Like, look.
I'm in love with you.
He's so measured and even. It's very Woody Allen-like.
We just decided to reload along. Oh.
That's great. We can spend some time together.
I think we have a lot of commitments, but I'm sure
What?
Oh yeah. Did you have your slippers on when you watched this?
No,
Not mistaken.
I was naked.
Man's work was influenced by his
Make
wife.
sure I'm not just
Yes.
Rose was the one.
No, he was never married to Rose.
I hope you're not going to be as antisocial tomorrow.
I'm not quite as taken with him as you are. He's a pseudo-intellectual.
Slightly more tannic than the 59. I prefer.
Wait a second. Okay.
Yeah.
I
It's
want.
great,
I go.
right?
I remember thinking you're right, and then I go. Don't just say he's right to say he's right. Like Todd, really
Right.
pay attention. But no, that's once you look for it, then you just see it every single joke.
He's doing Woody Allen, and he
But is
does
that-
it brilliantly. It's brilliant. He's really amazing in this movie.
But
He's
is that like,
perfect?
would his contemporaries think he should just sort of give an homage to it, or do you have to mention it?
No, yeah, I don't know if you do, but that's what he's doing.
But
I think Woody wrote it for. I mean, he's playing a character. Obviously, he's not playing Owen Wilson.
Who Woody Allen?
Woody
Allen did
wrote it.
Oh, he did.
It's a Woody Allen film.
Oh, so
Oh,
maybe-
you didn't know it was a Woody Allen
I
film?
didn't.
Oh, okay. Yes, it's a Woody Allen film. So let me see if Woody
What if I
Allen
ran
wrote
out
it.
crying?
I don't want to
He-
give.
he
yeah,
wrote it
writer
in
and
Dirty
director Woody Allen. It's so obviously a Woody Allen movie that basically Owen and him agreed that he would do it as Woody Allen. So it's like he can't do those movies anymore, but he's got them in his head. You know, so Woody can't really star in movies anymore. People don't want to see him anymore. That whole thing with his daughter, and there's just it got so weird with so many people that regardless of whether they're happy or not, it's so taboo that they've sort of ostracized him. They allow him to be behind the scenes, but if he's in front of the camera, like people are really sketchy about it, unfortunately or fortunately.
But could this
depending
work
upon
for
your
him?
opinion. Yes. Well, dude, you should get Owen Wilson to do every fucking movie and do it as Woody Allen. And Woody Allen could crank out 1,000,000 fucking hits. They would be amazing. I'm telling you, this movie did not get nearly as much credit. Like, it only got a 7.7 on the IMDb. I don't know if that's good or bad. But I thought it was a Woody Allen movie. And if you take again, some people are not willing to take away their feelings of him as an individual.
I didn't even know that
to
much
appreciate
about
his
it.
work. I don't know. I know there was some madness with him and his wife and the wife.
Don't mention his wife.
Yeah, she. Well, you know that woman
Makes
What-
it
what
look
the
like
fuck
I
was
know her.
name?
Ugh.
What was her name? Woody Allen and Mia Farrow. Mia Farrow. And look, man, they're a couple fucking Hollywood people. Who knows what the fuck the truth really is? They're a bunch of nutty people. But ultimately, he wound up leaving with her adopted
Oh,
daughter.
that yes, I know
Yeah.
about that. That
So
I know about.
that's that's crazy, man. I mean, he was with her from the time when she was like 2. Don't try to be funny. Have an opinion about that. That's
I didn't
weird,
know it was
right?
till 2. That's fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, I think they adopted her when she was a baby. She wasn't his biological daughter.
So
you
if
know-
it's true, obviously, all the judgment is fine. But if it's not, what even
it
if there's a
is. I mean,
small?
he has a relationship with her. He's
no,
married
I
to
mean,
her,
is
has
it
kids with her?
Oh no, yeah. What am I saying is true?
It's not if it's true. It's definitely true.
That's right. That's right.
It's the moral judgment. It's like if she became a woman and that's what she really wanted and that's what he really wanted, is that a bad thing? Everybody wants to decide that it is, and I think, ultimately that's the snap judgment, and that's the one that I would take. I would go, oh, he's a fucking creep. That's his daughter. I hate to say this, but when we're dealing with what you should and shouldn't be able to do, and if ultimately this is what 2 adult people want to do, it sounds disgusting to me, but I don't feel like it's within my jurisdiction to tell adult people what they can and can't do together, whether it's a brother and sister. If a brother and sister are in their 40s and they decide to start fucking each other, why do I care? The only reason why I would care is if they decided to make children and there could be some harm to the children. Why is it a law against them fucking each other? I mean, I don't want to do it to my sister. I love my sister. She's my sister. It would make me feel disgusting to have sex with her. I've never thought about it once. But if you do, what do I give a fuck?
Can I tell you
If
why
it's 2
I
adults.
err? If I had to, I call gun to my head, go
Right.
which way is better, your way or the way we do it now? I always say go on that way. Because every time we evolve, we don't look past and think we made any mistakes. And, we never went, the one group we were too fair to? Who knows? It just seems like the story's going to be most likely everything you're saying. And, who knows what year they'll be like. There'll be some kid that'll have to go, wait, it used to be wrong to date your brother? So it would be like, yeah, I mean, years that they would make they'll tell the story.
Touchy about who you fucked.
Yeah, no, to me, and it's funny that me and you both need to say, because it doesn't have interesting introspect if it's interesting to one of us. To think of having sex with my brother, it's fucking the gross. I don't get where I'm at I get by that's what everyone else does. They think, well, I wouldn't want to have sex with that person, so that must be gross. That's what people think of gay people.
Yeah.
So am I turning around and doing that to another group right now? I don't know, but fuck it, I'm erring on your side and going, leave everybody the fuck alone.
I think as long as you're dealing with two sober adults.
That's whenever I'm high and I talk about stuff, I get nervous. That would be the one detail that I would look like an idiot if I go, wait, Todd, that was between this age and that age. I go, oh my God, no, I was thinking of consenting adults. And consenting adults,
Yeah, 18 and over, you know, mistakes or no mistakes, you're certainly going to make them. You're responsible for a certain amount of your actions from a certain age on. It should be very difficult to trick you. That's what we try to do. We try to make it legal to fuck you when it's really difficult to trick you. Really, people should be able to fuck until they're 30. Okay, it should be illegal to fuck until you're 30 under that standard.
I'm petrified right now. I'm sorry. I wasn't listening because I'm petrified to think, did I just say that being gay was like fucking your brother or sister?
No,
I didn't say that, right?
No, you said that that's how some people would feel about being gay. That you as a gay man are repulsed by the idea of fucking your brother, but some people would think about that as gay sex. You know, just having
brother
sex with
and
a
sister.
Man.
Make it brother and sister,
but
so
it's
not weird.
Analogy. No, it's a perfect analogy because why does anyone care what two people that are adults decide to do? Whether it's two women or two men or four women and six men, who cares if they are all in agreement and they all are consenting and everybody's sober and no one gets tricked?
Because there's plenty of people making psychological mistakes by who they date. Whether even if it's because it's a guy and a girl, there's a million reasons. So this is one more. Maybe you shouldn't do it, and why it's. I was sort of halfway knew where I was going, and then I got lost.
Well, the idea of someone being able to tell someone else what they should enjoy, whether it's sex or music or anything,
right? Even
if you're a person who likes getting your feet sucked, you love it, and everybody else thinks it's fucking disgusting. If someone else likes sucking feet and you two get together, that's awesome. You know? I mean, it might freak you out if that's your next door neighbor and you're like, hey, he just sucks feet all the time. They go over to the guy's house, there's feet all over the wall and there's fucking feet phones. He's just a crazy foot sucker. You know? Don't put that up, dude.
You know what I sort of get from what you're saying right now is that, like, and it's good. I like to remind myself. I think of myself as leave everybody the fuck alone and don't judge everybody and just as long as
then
maybe I catch
adults.
myself doing. Oh, of course, you can have limitations where you can say there's obviously that's two consenting fucking adults, but maybe even though I think I'm open minded, you're right, like that. You know, if I would make judgment on someone, you're right, maybe, or make stupid jokes like what you were just talking about, the foot sucking.
Yeah.
Well, why the fuck? I don't want to be that person.
Yeah, he likes feet. Some people like sucking feet.
I don't want to be that person who goes, hey, you know that guy?
Yeah, it's weird. We all do it. I think we do it also because we're insecure and because it's also not even necessarily, and it's a jump reaction that people have to something that's very different from them.
And guess what? If you found it out, and I'm saying maybe someone hearing this would be like, you know what, I might do that, but now I'm not going to. Here's what it is. Like, you don't want to be that person that goes, hey, you know that guy, for no reason at all. Yeah. Just you found it out about that person. 2 years later, you're still going, yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah. I found out he likes sucking feet. How do you know? Well, some picture got published in. You know, why would you want to why do you have to keep telling everybody that?
Yeah, why do you?
Now, look, I don't like sucking feet. I don't want everyone to get nervous. There's a picture of me. Oh, that's a joke. I was doing a sketch.
You sucking feet in a sketch?
Yeah, like if you had a picture of me sucking feet. That was an old SNL audition that I used to make my own tapes.
That was this thing I used to do. That's hilarious. That's so funny.
Jesus, I'm leaving. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it. More people alone. That's all I want to do.
Listen, it's fine. You're not alienating anybody but foot suckers.
Oh yeah, that I know.
Such a small segment. You don't have to worry.
Or they could laugh at it. That's my rule. Like, I think I try to adhere to that. Like, someone that did suck feet could listen to this, and laugh.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be offended. I think we're pretty much giving them the green light.
Thank you.
We're giving everybody the green light. As long as you're not hurting anybody else. But it's one of those things where, like, have you ever told someone that you like a certain thing and they go, oh, that fucking sucks, but it doesn't suck to me? Do you know I like it? I actually do like it. I like this band. I like that
like food.
Movie.
Yeah, it's like so many things that we're comfortable to talk about that we don't like. No one has to lie they like Italian food, but some areas it's like
kimchi. You like kimchi. Get the fuck out of here. You like kimchi, they'll get mad at you. You like kimchi. And I go, I buy it. I like it. It's delicious.
Leave me alone. No, I mean,
The
like,
fuck is wrong with you, bro? You're eating kimchi over there?
It would never do that if someone goes, you like a red car? Can't believe it. Yeah, I like different.
Red is a little tricky. Red's a little douchey.
Well, I don't have a red car.
Do you have a red sports car?
You almost got one, didn't you?
Never had a red car in my life.
What color is your
about
car?
to get one though? You were like, I'm thinking about just getting a red car.
What color is your car?
I get silly.
What color is
white?
White?
White.
What kind of car?
It's a Porsche.
And is it of course, wait, I won't even ask.
What?
I was going to say, is it a 4-door?
Yeah, no. But they make those now.
I know.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I thought, like, you know how when you don't know, I don't know, like, it seems to be, because one person I knew that likes Porsches were like, no, that's not cool. And then I thought, oh, do people think they're not cool? But not knowing, when I just saw one, I was like, fuck. Like, I don't even, that's not the type of car I usually like. It just looked like a cool sedan.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was a Porsche until I looked.
There's a problem that people have with rich people items like that, and that they automatically dismiss them as being a douchey thing to have because so many douchey people own them. But the reality is, what they are is marvels of engineering. They're these amazing creations by these geniuses and artisans. I mean, to me, that's what it is. It's an expression of art. It's geometric art. It's functional mechanical art. They figured out how to make this exciting, exhilarating thing that performs in a way that other cars don't. And it looks great. It's like a cool, sleek, I like the way they designed it. I think it's a beautiful piece of engineering.
You know, it's funny you mention that because there's something I probably do. Like, I sometimes, like we've talked about on the show, that I wouldn't want to pull up. There's a lot of cars where I do my show. I look down on these cars. Oh, there's so many that I fucking love. Like, I get it, the sight lines. I'm more of an SUV guy, I think, but I can look at so many of those cars. But I wouldn't drive one to the Improv because I've said this on my show. I go, because I don't know you, but what the fuck? Why not? That's like doing exactly the opposite of what I preach to do. It's like, and I prejudge. I prejudge.
Yeah, we all
instead
do.
But I know that person might drive it up for the same reason that I sit upstairs and look down at the cars and go, fuck, look at that one.
Yeah.
Look at that. And we go over and we touch it and the paint feels different and thicker. But yet I would be afraid to do it. Well, maybe,
You shouldn't be.
Tomorrow I'm going to buy a Doom buggy. What if that's the car that I want?
Do it. One of those crazy VW bugs that has like the extra wide fender flares and engine exposed. You drive around with that convertible.
That's the one I like.
Crazy.
Joe Rogan told me it's all right.
Just paint it whatever fucking color you
It's
like.
like a bubble machine I have going out of it. Talk to Joe Rogan.
It's inside of it. It's constantly blowing bubbles.
Little sound.
Todd Glass, ladies and gentlemen, pulling up to his spot.
When Todd told me, this is you going. When Todd told me that he would appreciate a car, I thought he meant like an old Porsche. I didn't know he was going to get that. He's blaming me. I mean, yes, technically.
A dune buggy with a full roll cage.
Yeah. I was so jealous in my neighborhood when someone had a dune buggy.
This guy's got a dune buggy at the bottom of the ocean? Is that what this is?
It's a Beetle, Beetle cage car where they can drive around on the bottom of the ocean.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And there's a cage so sharks can't get him.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. What a genius idea. What if a little shark swims in there and bites you right in the dick? There's plenty of holes in that fucking thing. They're crazy.
Yeah,
I would need weapons and Kevlar.
What do you do? I have you know the whole SeaWorld thing that's going on?
I hate it.
Have you?
I hate the idea. I've spent too much time paying attention to killer whales and dolphins and reading about them.
Yeah,
I hate it.
Let me ask you a question.
It's slavery. It's slavery to an alien animal that we don't understand.
What do you do with people that, like, if they can... Look, there's some things I do that make me hypocritical. And I'm asking you to help me fight the fight. What do you do with this? Because, someone will go, what about... So I agree 100%. It's like, no, come on. Like, the way we will treat them is the way we treat each other. It's more than that. Even if it's just, not that it has to do with it, but it does. Mm-hmm. Even if it ended right there in that animal's pain and it didn't affect the way those humans that can do that treat other people, on that alone, it's wrong. But don't think for a second that that's not also, if you have the ability to do that, you're not bringing home a good energy to your kids.
No.
Those people that fucking do that, they go home to children. They pass that. There's something vile and unaware of a human thing to slug it in. Now, what do I do with people that go, you eat meat, and that's the way it's... what I've set up till now is this.
Mm-hmm.
I go, I don't want to be a smoker that smokes because I can't quit. I want to be the smoker I was. I used to smoke, and while I smoked, I go, I knew it was vile and disgusting. I didn't think, well, I don't have the ability to quit, so I'll may pretend and give a public outward thing of going, you're gonna have you can eat a candy bar too, and not those people that write it off because they can't quit. I just called it vile, and that led to me quitting one day.
Right.
So I want to do the same thing with the meat. Just because I'm lazy or whatever it is right now, and I might be partaking in some of that slaughtering because of the way I eat every day, it doesn't negate that I know it's wrong.
Right.
And SeaWorld thing, like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
How can someone think that's okay, Joe? And some of your listeners, might disagree with us. Just like the SeaWorld thing, when you hear the facts and the size, and you get it, it's a bathtub, and that they take away from its family and all that. What listening person right now, and I mean that wholeheartedly, is sitting home going, oh, it's SeaWorld. Come on. Now you're being ridiculous.
It's worse than prison, okay? Because it's being imprisoned by an alien species. Prison, at least you could talk to the guards. It's an insane relationship that they have, those killer whales have with those trainers, and it's atrocious. The idea is insane. They are incredibly intelligent. They have a very complex language that we can't decipher. They have different accents for different regions. They recognize each other. They have very tight-knit colonies. They stay together forever. We just can't appreciate the way they live their life. But their world is a magical wonderland where they are the top dog of the sea. They kill sharks, man. They got their name, killer whale, because they kill whales. They kill small whales. They'll go up to like a humpback whale, have a child, and they'll tear it apart. I watched a horrible video of it the other day. We like to think of orcas as being these like really sweet things that jump for fish. They're murderous machines when they're out there in the wild. They kill dolphins on a regular basis. But for them, that's the spoils of the real world. That's how they got to the top of the food chain, by being these ruthless, super intelligent motherfuckers that live in this playground of the ocean. And they migrate up and down the coast, and they've done so for thousands and thousands of years until this fucking tiny blip in time, this industrialized age, this age of aquariums, this age where they figured out how to capture those fucking things and stuff them into fucking swimming pools. It is slavery. It should be highly illegal. The people that want to do it should, without a doubt, they should tax them out of fucking business. There should be no way you should be able to profit off taking a thing and making it do tricks. And when you find out how they train them, and you hear the things they do, they isolate them and put them in small tanks. It's way crazier than putting a person in solitary confinement. They have them all stuffed together. Physically, they can't fucking move. They wind up biting each other in aggravation. It's slavery. It's just slavery of a non-human but equal level intelligence. We have this idea that just because they can't alter their environment with their fingers, that they're not super intelligent. But that's our own biases. They're insanely intelligent. In fact, their cerebral cortex is something like 40% larger than a human being's. We don't know what the fuck what's going on in their mind, but they're absolutely aware that what we're doing to them is not what they want. They want to be fucking free. And just because you charge money, you say, it's going to go to conservation. You know what else would go to conservation? Awareness. Let people know what magical animals they are. People will donate.
By the way, whenever I hear more on podcasts where we'll ask those type of questions, I go, I always go, if I had a show, and people go, you do have a show. I go, yeah, but I mean, got near the people that I want to ask the questions. How come nobody has told them yet, in better way than I could ask this? But no one, I've never asked. So one interviewer, when they're interviewing these people that say, well, we give a lot of money, would you be able to molest a group of children, but then give $7 million a year to the cause of molestation?
It's a good
Does
point.
that erase it? No, it's like they act like there's such a, like Dr. Phil calls a paper argument. Like you're making an argument that's not really being had. Like you're trying to act like the argument is, why do you give money to?
Well, that's the argument also for hunting. The argument for hunting is that when you hunt, the hunters pay for tags, and those tags pay for conservation. And in fact, hunters do better. There's more money that comes to conservation for preserving animals that come from hunting than I think almost any other source.
Is hunting bad?
No. Not only is it not bad, it's important.
Right, that's what I thought.
That's why manage the levels of the car. If you've ever been on a road in like Wisconsin or some shit like that, like late at night, you have to manage that. Like people are gonna die. Like, unless you introduce predators into the environment, unless you introduce wolves, which is equally dangerous, and we're starting to see the results of that. There's people that are getting attacked by wolves. A guy was hunting with his friend, and they had to fight off a fucking wolf pack. This is really recently. and they were trying to fight over an elk carcass, and it becomes a real issue. And they dominate areas, and they don't take kindly to some new hunter coming in. There's a video I put up on Twitter. A guy runs into wolves while elk hunting. I put it up a while ago. Just look up on YouTube. Ran into wolves while elk hunting, and there's this fucking crazy video of these dudes elk hunting, and these wolves are around them, circling them, howling and shit. It's fucking eerie, and they're like, "Oh shit!" But they have guns, so they're not freaking out too much. But they're like, "Oh shit, this is crazy!" Like the wolves were like following them, looking around at them. Like they would hear one over there, and then one would run through the woods in front of them. It was really fucking weird.
Coyotes, that's what we see in Los Angeles, or is it wolves? It's
Those are coyotes.
When I see a coyote on my street, if it's anywhere near my house, like especially in front of my house, I will rather, if I had the money, I would go check into a hotel. Because I'm always afraid when I get out of the car, they're going to be lurking out of every tree around my house. So it's like I just picture that. I get creep, and I bolt from my house to my front door.
You should.
They give me the...
a guy just got bit in Colorado. A guy got attacked by coyotes at a bus stop.
I like that you're legitimizing it.
Wolf hunting surrounded by wolves with a bow. It's the first one.
You know,
see this, Brian? Just
right
wolf hunting. Yeah. Listen to the fucking sounds these things are making. These guys were out there hunting, and the wolves started circling them and finding out where they were and like communicating with each other. They would, like, one of them would pop out and they were like staring at the dudes, and then they would go back into the forest, and another one would come from a different direction. They're all making these crazy noises, man. It's really fucking badass.
If they're hungry enough, right?
Oh, they'll kill you for sure if they think they get away with it. But they're very aware of these dudes, and so they're letting these dudes know.
The first one was white, wasn't it? But they have their guns.
How
no, they have bows and arrows.
How different are they from?
That's sketchy. That's
like
dangerous.
Coyotes.
Much bigger.
Much bigger.
Much bigger. Much stronger. Much scarier. Much smarter. They eat coyotes. They kill coyotes
dumb,
all
right?
the time.
They're like goldfish. Almost.
No. Coyotes are sneaky fucks, man. They're very sneaky. They figure out how to get over fences and shit. Coyotes figure out a lot of ways to get into your. They get into my yard, man. They got into my yard, and I have a high fence.
That's the big one.
Yeah, so he's blowing an elk horn to try to get them to come over, and that might have been what they responded to in the first place. They blow these horns that sound. They have two different ones. One of them that sounds like a male elk, which is kind of scary, and another one that sounds like a female or a baby, and that's what brings the wolves around.
So these guys are going to soon have wolves around them.
They have wolves around them right now.
Oh, they do.
They're making these. These fucking assholes are still making these calls because they're elk hunting. They're looking to get an elk, but they're not going to get an elk right now because there's wolves everywhere.
Yeah.
There's a thing going on right now in part of the country where they've reintroduced wolves because the wolf population had been decimated. So they reintroduced wolves, but they used a larger Canadian wolf. So like it's like using Germans instead of pygmies. You know what I mean? Like they're both wolves, but one of them's a motherfucker that gets to be about 200 pounds. And so these big-ass wolves have been decimating these elk populations. So that's your options. If you don't want hunting, you have to bring in wolves.
Yeah.
I'd say we're probably safer with the hunting.
No, I always knew. Matter of fact, I was surprised because I always thought I couldn't hunt myself, but I always knew I thought that was always a good way to
Yes.
That's an honest. An animal has a life.
Yes.
It doesn't suffer. I know I couldn't. They get killed, but you're talking about in the plants where an animal's whole life, the day it's killed is the best day of its life.
And not only that, their life is absolutely wild as nature intended. Nothing changes until that one moment, and then they get shot.
Right.
So it is the freest of free range possible. And a lot of times they've never even seen a person before. And a lot of times also you're dealing with environments, especially. I went hunting in Montana, and they lose a giant amount every year. They freeze to death. They get killed by predators, they freeze to death, or they get lame. And if they get lame, they get killed by predators. I mean, there's a lot of different predators in that area. We found mountain lion shit, and it was a log of mountain lion shit, and it was filled with hair. So it was a deer hair. So that's how they go. They either freeze to death or they get killed by mountain lions. They're not going to make it. No one makes it. No deer die of old age. Doesn't happen. Doesn't exist. So it's just a matter of who kills them. Whether it's a predator or whether it's a human, this fucking thing is dying in a couple of years in a horrible way.
Do you know I didn't realize what you just said until I don't remember what year it was, but it was in my adult life. Like I always had this visualize an animal a certain age, and they grow. What you just said, I sort of realized once, and I went, Do any? I mean, statistically,
No,
do any?
none of them do.
So none
one
of them
makes
do?
it. No one makes
In
it.
nature,
maybe elephants. Maybe
so
they
wait,
used to.
So just, and I don't know if you know just get me in the right area. I'll be happy. Like, so let's say you're I don't want to pick an animal too far up. Like,
Leopard?
how long does a deer live?
Oh, if it's lucky, it gets 5 years in. It's got to be really lucky, though.
Oh, that's
really
real.
lucky. Super lucky. And then as it gets like 6 and 7, they get old and haggard. And then something takes them out. Either they break a leg, hop in a fence, and they freeze to death. That happens all the time. All the time. Especially in northern areas. Or predators get them. If they break a leg in California, they're not going to freeze to death, but, they'll probably get killed by something that comes along and finds them.
You know how they say if it's cliche, it's true?
Yeah.
Nature can be cruel.
Nature's a bitch.
As you're talking, like half of this I never even would think of. I was like, forgot about they get old, they fall over. It's like, nature can be fucking cruel.
Well, not only that, there's also amount of limited food supply, depending upon the area. That's one of the things that conservationists do best, and including these game wardens and the fish and game. They figure out how much land there is, how much food there is, how many animals can be sustained, and then what is the population. And then they release tags based on those estimates. So the whole idea behind it is managing populations. And they'll pull hunting back if there's any sort of a problem, if species are being extinct. In fact, like bighorn sheep, when we were in Montana, these fucking things are everywhere.
Oh, so
everywhere.
I
went hunting for deer, but when we were there, we saw more sheep than we saw deer. But it's really hard to get a sheep tag to kill a sheep, even though there's a lot of them, because they're trying to build up the population because they were decimated at one point in time. There was also there's wolves there as well, Montana wolves. There's coyotes. There's mountain lions. There's plenty of predators out there. So they didn't necessarily need humans to take care of this population. They want to build it up to substantial size. You see that in Nevada as well.
What's the most amount? Sounds like a weird question, but what's the most amount of animals like you could say 50 or 100
Right.
running together in nature, not on
in
TV.
Elk, you can see hundreds.
Have you?
No, I've never seen it. But in Colorado, there's a town called Evergreen, and we were visiting, and there's this area of Evergreen where this main street is, and they have a photo. I think it's on their website.
What's the most you've ever seen?
I've seen several, like deer together, like 4 and 5 deer together. I think probably the most I've ever seen. I've seen many times. I've seen moose. I've seen 5 moose total. But not more than 2 together.
I've never seen a moose.
Yeah,
we
saw
talked
them all
about
in
it the
one
other
trip.
night, and we were saying, well, I swear to God, we were talking about the moose. How we thinking? Are we thinking of the cartoon moose, or are we actually thinking of the real moose? And we decided that no, even the real moose has got some crazy characters.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Obviously they amplify it, but even the real. So we pulled one up online. I was like, oh yeah, that looks like something that shouldn't be real. That's what I thought.
Someone told me that the length of the nose. Did you tell me this?
No.
The length of the nose is because it warms the air up before it gets to the brain. Because you're dealing with something that's so fucking cold. The air is so fucking cold that they have to have this long nose. So as they breathe in the air, it gets heated up slowly along the way before it gets to their head. Because they're dealing with like 50 below zero weather. They don't hibernate.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Where do moose? Where
Alaska.
They
live in Alaska. No, they live in Montana too. In Colorado, where I was, someone had moose droppings that they had discovered. So they get into Colorado. There's moose in several states, but in Alaska, they're really plentiful.
I wonder if, because, keep in mind, that a lot of people aren't that bright. A lot are, but some aren't. So these are the ones I'm talking about. Like, how many, I don't know if moose killings, when people would see them, would be higher than other animals because dumb people going, oh, it's a moose, and not getting it's a ferocious animal. Would people ever get to be near mooses?
Yeah, people die in moose attacks all the time.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh, so maybe I'm right.
Someone died recently in Anchorage on the school campus. I think a moose got in and killed somebody. They panic and they'll stomp you to death if they're with their baby.
All I'm thinking of is the happy moose, and I can't imagine them in a fit of rage.
Well, twice we stumbled upon moose that had a child, and we were super careful.
I bet they're cute. Jesus Christ.
The child is big, like a fucking Great Dane already.
It's born? You think the size of a Great Dane?
No, but it was when we saw it. It was obviously a baby, but it was a big fucking animal, even though it was a baby. But the mother was huge. The mother was absolutely massive, and she just locked eyes with us. They're pretty acclimated to human beings, and they're pretty sure of when people are dangerous and when they're not. But they also know that there's occasionally a bang sound that comes from people, and then one of their friends disappears. Like, they're aware. They're not sure what the fuck is going on, but they're aware. Oh, fucking people. You know, like if you're ever in a place that has like a lot of hunting pressure, the deer are super skittish. But when you're in like Boulder, Colorado, when you drive it around, deer are just chilling on the corner. Like, as the cars are going back and forth, there's a 10-point buck just chilling in the corner eating grass. When cars are fucking flying around all around them, they don't give a fuck because there's zero pressure from hunters.
And they start, like
they acclimate.
Right.
I mean, Boulder is crazy. I've never seen a place like that. I got out with my kids, and I made sure that I stood in front of them if the deer got really sketchy. But usually they run away. They don't try to be aggressive, and the males especially, except when they're looking for girls. That's when they can be dangerous. Towards the winter, towards like the fall, the rut, when they start getting really horny. If you cock block a deer, they'll fuck you up.
I would know. I'm scared. I'm the biggest chicken of. Now, I'm not like, if I could drive in the car, I would appreciate it. But
yeah.
So I'm not. I would, to be near it. I'm scared. When
you should be. It's a healthy intelligence, is what it is.
Well, every time I see a picture up there and I don't like it, it makes me paranoid.
Of yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take it down.
No, it's okay.
Why? We don't need it. It's just a distraction.
Newscaster hair.
Yeah, we could just shut it up, Brian.
No, I don't.
Put the logo on or something. I don't want to freak you out.
Oh, but doesn't the audience see this?
No, the audience sees it no matter what. We just don't have to see it.
Okay. See, there you go.
Yeah.
What are they seeing now? What were we just saying about the Oh yeah, so when I go to DC, where there's a lot of monuments and the squirrels are used to people.
Yeah.
Like that. Like, if I see a squirrel from a distance. By the way, there's no more squirrels in Lake Arrowhead.
What?
Isn't that weird?
What do you mean?
I almost, when somebody said it, I went, no, there's maybe less. I go, no more squirrels. And then I asked somebody, there was something that happened about 5 years ago or 7 years ago with some disease that was up there, West Nile type. I think that's what it was. I'm not positive.
Whoa.
But it's the only thing. Like, when we hear about, like, for me, I always just hear about, like you just said, when they're trying to save certain animals, they cut off the hunting in certain areas, or we're trying not to kill whales, or, all that.
Right.
But it was for to see an example of it, to go, after I realized that I would start noticing, I go, no, there's squirrel. Maybe there's no squirrels.
Whoa, that's
to just
crazy.
not exist. Like, that shows you, like, the magnitude of, like, just fuck. And that's what happens to other animals.
I love
You just
squirrels.
don't notice it. Oh, from a distance?
They're so cute.
My mom had a squirrel, but she knew that when it was at a certain age, she had to let it go. She's, like, smart enough. She's not going to be one of those people with an animal that belongs in nature. But she nursed it back to health. She found it in her garage.
Right.
And then she just let it on her patio, but it wouldn't go anywhere. And it would just stay there. And, I forget what happened. Every time, I've told this story 2 times, and each time I forget what happened. But she had it for a long time. Oh, she gave it to her friend. She couldn't. It wouldn't leave her house, and she couldn't take it anymore.
Wow.
So she gave it to her friend.
Became the mama.
Yeah,
It
and
needed
then
a
the same
mother.
thing. Yeah, and then after that, I don't know what happened. I got hit by a bus. I'm just kidding. What if that's? Why would I forget that? Why would I
That's
forget
a weird
that?
thing that happens with wild animals, though. When you take them in, is that to reintroduce them back to being
hard.
wild is super difficult. They grew up getting food for free. Like, now they got to go look for it.
Yeah, that's why it is. It is. Yeah, I don't know what you should do.
Squirrels are the vegans of the rodent world.
Oh, they don't eat meat?
No, they eat nuts. That's why they're so sweet. That's why you don't have to worry about them. Like rats, those cunts, they eat everything. They eat fucking shit. They'll eat condoms. They'll eat your dick. They'll eat whatever's in front of them. Rats are assholes.
That's, to me, what you just gave legitimacy. Now, look, if I see any rodent, I get a little freaked out. But when I see a rat in New York City, here's what I think of. Their belly filled with trash.
How about filled with dead rats?
Yeah. Oh, they'll eat other rats?
Oh, fuck yeah, they will. They'll eat rats in Encino. I lived in Encino, and I had a rat in my garage, a little rat problem. I put my garbage in my garage before I would put it outside. And these rats, this apartment, those hills up there in the Encino, they're infested with rats. And this fucking giant rat got killed in a trap. I mean, it was fucking huge. It was as big as this thermos. This thermos is about, the body of the thermos is about 12 inches long. It was a huge rat.
Just rat splat everywhere.
I had a big ass rat trap, and it just smashed his head and killed him. But it was so big that I went out there. I was like, whoa. I was kind of freaked out. Well, I said, I'll clean that up in the morning. I was a bachelor, lazy bitch. I shut the light off. I shut the door. I go to bed. I get up in the morning, and it's gone. The only thing that's left is its tail. They didn't eat the tail. They ate everything else. They ate the whole rat. They found out it was fresh meat. It was their buddy. And they were like, good, this guy was a dick anyway. Let's eat. And they ate him. And that's why rats are scary. Rats don't even wait for you to be cold before they eat you if you're their friend. They cannibalize like on the natch. It's normal. That's how you get by. There's no like stigma about what are you doing?
I'm just a squirrel.
Oh.
This girl puts at a golf game the other day, took a squirrel out of another guy's pants.
Oh yeah, what was
and
that?
then put it on Tiger Woods.
Like, why does the guy have a squirrel in his pants?
I don't know. Tiger's like, just get that squirrel.
And then I thought he was pretty nice about it, but get the fucking squirrel off my neck.
Are they friends?
I don't know.
Well, maybe they are.
Is that his girlfriend? Isn't that his girlfriend?
It's his girlfriend. Yeah.
I think that's his girlfriend. She's a squirrel lover. What can you tell? What can you say? Yeah, they're the acceptable rodent. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you can have a pet rat. Don't get me wrong. Guinea pigs are a little sketchy, but squirrels, like, oh, they're free and wild, but yet they're so cute. They're the only rodents we see in the wild. We go, oh, he's so cute.
Which one?
Squirrels.
Oh,
We have this
squirrels, right,
attitude
right.
about them. We have this chipmunks
Because their
too,
tail.
yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
God they got
chipmunks
their
too.
tail.
Chipmunks are actually even cuter.
They're adorable.
When I was in Boulder, there was a lot of chipmunks out there.
And we don't get grossed
Adorable
out by
little
them
things.
either.
No, we don't get into. And again, same thing.
But do they eat the same thing rats eat?
Yeah, they no. The chipmunks are like they're eating nuts and leaves.
So
and
maybe
shit
the
like
rats
that.
are. Maybe they're just because they. Maybe if they wouldn't eat so much trash, we wouldn't. Maybe we should tell them stop eating trash, and people won't be as scared of you.
Well, they carry diseases too. They absolutely carry diseases. They carry rabies. Didn't rats have something to do with the Black Plague? Didn't we research that once?
I don't think I could. I know I couldn't. That's the thing. I couldn't. If I set a rat trap, I could never go near it. I'm like biggest chicken in the world with that stuff, and I hate it. Like I hate it. Like one time I saw a bird fly into a pool at a house I was living in when I first moved to LA, and it jumped. It got into the water, and I could have run out and saved it, and I fucking couldn't. It was a bird. I could have reached in and gotten it. And I couldn't. So I was like, yelled for somebody else. I'm like, hey, come on down to the pool. There's the bird just flew into the pool. And it died. Because I was too scared shitless to go over and touch the bird. Other people walk over, scoop it up.
Right.
Like, I hate that about myself.
You should volunteer for like a petting zoo. Get over that shit.
Well, no, I'd go to the petting zoo.
Really
by that time,
with animals.
They're so numb.
You need to hang out with he's dead. I was gonna say the crocodile hunter.
I don't want to get that extreme, but I'd like to not be screwed.
So listen to this: the Black Death, which is the rat disease, killed an estimated 75 to 200 million people, and peaking in Europe through the years 1348 to 1350. Although there was several competing theories as to the etiology, EITIOLOGY, I don't know how to say that one, of the Black Death. Analysis of DNA from the victims of northern and southern Europe, published in 2010 and 11, indicates that the pathogen responsible, blah, 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 Yersinia, Persina bacteria, blah, 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 had something to do with rats. It spread through rats. I'm trying to figure out what. Oh, here it is. Okay. It was carried from fleas, actually, that lived in the rats. Oriental rat fleas that were living on black rats that were regular passengers on merchant ships. So it spread throughout the Mediterranean and Europe. That's why they were so scared of rats. And Black Death is estimated to kill, ready for this, 30 to 60% of Europe's total population at the time.
So there's a reason they have this reputation.
Dude.
Some of it unfairly,
30 to 60% of their total population. Can you imagine if something came along and wiped out 6 out of 10 of all of us?
I think it should have a meaner reputation than it does.
Oh, my God.
You know what I mean? You're a rat. Well, it's not that bad. It should mean despicable.
It should be very bad.
Not
like
just
9/11-y.
Yes, thank you.
It shouldn't just be that you told on somebody.
Yeah, you rat. Well, I think that's like,
Listen to this. All in all, the plague reduced the world population from an estimated 450 million down to 350 million in the 14th century.
What year is this?
14th century, so 1300s. So it killed, that's insane, man. It killed 100 million people, at least. 75 to 200 million people. That's insane.
So hard for me to even think about those years.
And apparently it lasted forever. I mean, they couldn't cure things back then. It just would last for years and years and years and years and years. People kept dying of these horrible fucking diseases. And some people would barely get through it, and their immune systems would strengthen. And some people would just fucking drop off like flies.
Did you know the washing of your hands and everything was sort of not agreed upon by everybody at first?
For babies, for giving birth, they didn't even surgery.
Wouldn't wash their hands. And
No.
it was almost like the people that washed their hands, That's why I'm saying, Joe, everything leads down to the same thing. Just because people didn't do it, like. There's those things today. Don't be on the wrong side because every time in history you look stupid. There was a group of people arguing over washing your hands. Well, there's that thing going on today. So err on the right side of it, or the story's going to be about what a moron you were.
Well, this is a weird denial about global warming that to me is absolutely fascinating because it's really one of the few arguments that have anything to do with nature and the nature of the world that have these ideologies attached to it. Liberal ideologies and conservative ideologies battling it out. And when I hear conservative people say that it hasn't been proven that humans are responsible for global warming or that it's just a cycle of life, or oftentimes I talk to them about it and they aren't even paying attention to the actual effects of global warming. They have this vague idea of what the impact of global warming is. Their main concern is defending conservative business practices and conservative ideologies, and that's like where they go to immediately to strengthen up the gate and battle down for argument. And it's okay, well, who the fuck knows who's doing it? Look at what's happening. How much do you know about what's happening? And that's when it's minuscule. These people have very little idea for the most part. People are like really passionate about the subject. I'm sure there's a few experts out there that disagree with me right now, but I'm just saying that by my personal experience, a lot of people that I meet, and I don't have an opinion on it because I'm not a fucking climate scientist, but I've talked to like 25-year-old guys that, they're like, hard asses. And they're like, look, fucking Earth's temperature has been changing for, a million years. It goes up and down. The dinosaurs lived in a totally different... Okay, that doesn't matter. You know what else we know? We know there used to be an ice age, too. Do you know that? Do you know that half of North America was under like a mile-high sheet of ice? But what we do know is it's happening right now, for sure.
Well, but let me ask you, and this might be a no shit type of a thing. Isn't the argument you would think on the people that think let's do what we need to do whatever we can do? Mm-hmm. Isn't what you should do the same whether you believe in we could change it or whether you can't? Let's say you think you can't change it, we can't fix it.
Yeah,
you would still want to respect the planet while we're here. So you cannot believe in it and still like I don't understand what the argument is to not acknowledge, because isn't the whole fight to like try to be more aware of how much gas we use and right? Isn't that the ultimate goal, to prove that it's happening?
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
No, it totally makes sense.
I thought we were trying to prove let's use less because look, the global warming is our way of proving it, maybe making people believe it. Mm-hmm. So where I'm confused is even if we can't reverse it, what's the downside of doing everything they say to do?
Right.
Does that make
sense?
Well,
the downside is that businesses would have to change some of their parameters, like car businesses. What do they do if they have coal burning plants? What do they do? Like, there's like real problems in parts of China that the pollution has gotten so bad from coal burning that they literally can't go outside. There was this insane video that was on TV the other day. Let me pull this up. Smog in China. It's fucking nuts, man. These people are walking down the street, and they have their faces covered with like masks and stuff, and they're trudging through, and it looks like they're in an apocalypse movie. I mean, it's worse than The Road. The gloomy look, that mood, The Road, this gloomy apocalyptic world. This is way worse than that.
And people live like that.
Yeah. Dude, it's insane. Like, you couldn't make a movie like this unless you added it in later, because you couldn't expect the actors to work in that kind of conditions. If you made a movie about the apocalypse.
They have to... Where is this at?
China. Look at this,
China. And they can't live that long, right?
No, they can't live long at all. It's killing them for sure. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. It's killing people at a rapid pace. It's probably taking decades off their life. Record smog levels shut down city of Harbin. This is it. Pull it up, Brian. Pull up smog in China, and it's the first video on under videos in Google. It's fucking crazy, man. You're seeing these people walk down the street, and you're like, oh my God, you nutty fucks have poisoned your city to the point where people can't even breathe the air. And still, everyone's tolerating it. Still, everyone needs jobs. Still, everyone needs to feed their kids. So they just let these businesses continue to operate the way they are. Everything, they should divide all the food. Everything should be shut down for a fucking month. Just let the air clear out. Jesus Christ. Look what you're doing. Pull up the video, Brian. Look what they're fucking doing. Look at this. Look at this, Todd Glass.
Okay, I want to remember to ask
look at
you
it. Look behind you. Look behind you. Look behind you. You can see it. This is fucking madness.
Oh, I saw this.
This is incredible, incredible madness.
I didn't know what it was.
To be no more than 20. Anything above 300 is considered
Back that up so that makes sense. He's describing what's wrong with the content.
Organization recommends daily levels of particulate matter with a diameter of 2.5 micrometers to be no more than 20. Anything above 300 is considered dangerous. Levels around 1,000 were recorded in some parts of Harbin. All schools were shut and the airport was closed.
Wait, what schools are shut?
Harbin is home to some 11 million
What
people.
if that's still in your head from when you were little?
But when you're snow days,
wait, there's such
that's
school.
you growing up in Philly. California people don't understand that.
Oh,
we love snow days. Snow days was the greatest thing ever.
Remember that voice? 98. 100 closed, 101 closed. We were 102. They go 103, and whatever you were, they'd skip it. You'd be like, "Shut the fuck up."
Remember, you would call a number. They had a number to call for school closings, and they would tell you all the school closings in a recording.
Man, they don't have that shit anymore. They just tweet it, probably.
Yeah, I'm sure they probably send the parents emails.
Yeah.
They just send a mass email to all the students.
That's such a great one to think of. Like, oh shit, that is like another fucking.
Snow days are awesome.
Did you hear about that?
I
teacher?
never liked school.
This
University. To this day, if I see a yellow bus, I get a stomachache. What? Sorry.
A University of Iowa teacher assistant sent out her whole entire class. She was supposed to send out like the answers to the thing, but sent out pictures of her and her boyfriend masturbating.
Yeah, whoopsies.
To every
Where
single
did this happen?
student.
Iowa.
Iowa.
Whoopsies. It's just what happens when you fuck around with email. You don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
No.
Those snow days were fucking awesome.
Well, hold on
though,
1 second.
man.
Do you think that woman I
did it on purpose?
No. Do you think she should get fired for that?
No.
Me
why
neither.
should she?
But what do you think the masses think? You think in that community,
for sure,
people
but
are
they're
quick to
hypocrites.
judge?
They're hypocrites. She's taking a picture of her
accident.
body. So what? Yeah,
Right.
she is definitely an accident. And obviously, she's probably. I mean, unless she
needs love.
Well,
not...
we might be wrong. Okay, we might be assuming it's an accident, and she might just be like really a crazy attention person who's like, "This is the way I'm going to get attention. I'm going to send pictures of me jerking off." That's possible too.
Of course, we limit that, but that's not.
Yeah, but we shouldn't necessarily. I think we should leave all possibilities open because we don't really know her.
I mean, we limit it when we're deciding if it's all right or not. We exclude that. Excluding that. No,
if her story holds true, then yes, of course she should keep her job. People are so fucking judgmental and hypocritical. She's a woman who, I mean, depending upon, of course, her actual performance as a teacher, let's just assume she was a great teacher. If there's a great teacher who also loves playing with her pussy, what do you give a shit? Like, what the parents that would have a real problem with that, you're completely unrealistic.
And if she's playing with her pussy, she's having fun. I mean, she's going to be nicer to the
She's
students.
masturbating. So what?
Yeah,
it feels good. It's her pussy. She's off work.
Yeah.
You know, she's not like sitting on the desk. Today, kids, you're gonna watch me jerk off. You know, she's not doing it in front of them.
At
Go
first,
side to side like this. I like to fucking really beat that thing up. A lot of people are more gentle, and they like to go with extra figure. Listen, I'm just telling you, no one's gonna teach you this, but I'm gonna teach you. But don't tell your parents. I like to spit in my hands because I feel dirty. I want to just really beat it up side to side. I pretend it's a speed bang. Just
kids looking on in horror.
Yeah, or writing things down.
What do you think they're
telling me?
If you did that to little? First of all, this is all in the in real life, which will never happen. What do you think? You know enough about therapy. I bet you can get pretty fucking close to what kids would do if you did exactly that in front of a room full of children. At what point would they go? And may pretend she does it with her pants on, so it's not as gross when we're imagining it.
Well, I wouldn't say pants on. I would say no panties, a skirt.
What do the kids do? Seriously, not to be funny, but what
freak out?
They would freak out, right? They would start to cry, probably, right?
Yeah, cry. Girls would scream.
And this is not wrong that I'm even asking, is it?
No, not wrong at all.
I don't think they'd say you whore.
I think there's some girls that would say, girls I grew up with would say you whore.
Oh, what age were you?
14. You know, I'm talking about high school.
Oh yeah, they would definitely know that's not.
I think that's.
I don't like that I brought this up.
No. I think it's important that you brought this up.
Well, once you told me the answer, it made me look crazy because of course no. I didn't know because if
it's a good question.
Yeah. Okay.
No, it's an interesting. It's weird, you know. What would you do? What would you do? You think?
Dick out, masturbate.
I don't.
You say that though, but I think there might be like a desire to get close to her. If like this has happened more than once, okay, in high schools, more than once. Some young, attractive teacher has had sex with 2 or more boys from school, either on campus, like locking the door, or take them back to her apartment. It happens. It happens all the time. It happens, I wouldn't say all the time, but it happens
It's happening
several times in history.
We're hearing about it more and more, too.
There's probably been half a dozen or so, that's being really conservative, examples of this that have made it onto the news. So we know that people are doing it. You know, we know that we it's not like, so, you know, to say that someone sends these naked pictures of themselves, whoopsies, I don't know what I did. Like, she could be some crazy freak that wanted to beat off in front of the class, but they didn't want her to. And she's like,
wait,
whoopsies,
did this really happen?
Yes, she really did send it to everyone in her class.
Oh, she wanted to do that, to not do it live, but to,
no, I'm saying it could have been.
Right.
I'm not
we
accusing
exclude
her.
that.
Yes.
That obviously.
I do not know what her motivation was or if it was actually an accident. Yeah. But if it wasn't an accident, it is possible that there's a person out there, not saying it's her, but some person, a person who's willing to fuck every football player in her school, and she's a 28-year-old. That's happened before. If there's a person like that out there, there's also a person that'll just email her pussy out there and go, whoopsies!
Right.
Oh my goodness, did you see my pussy? Did you like it? What did you think about my... I didn't mean to send it to you, but now that you saw my pussy, what'd you think?
By the way, you basically in life get one freebie.
Yes.
And then after that, thank God for keeping records.
I've sent it again?
Yeah, exactly.
I can't believe I accidentally sent my pussy to everyone again.
Yeah. The first time, your clear record, I think everybody gives you the benefit of the doubt. And they should.
Yeah.
Because can you imagine, by the way, we're only saying the 1% chance that it happened with some crazy, or 3%, because we know 97%. She's horrified. She's a decent person that just got out. It's like, fuck. And then there's people that judge you. We're saying we don't want to be that, if that's the case.
We definitely
and
don't
we'll
want to
take
be
a break.
that.
We'll be right back. Joe Rogan is my guest this afternoon. We'll ask him what he thinks of the new healthcare program when we come back and get into it. Blah, 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 blah.
I like that clarifying your point is very important to you.
It's
like
weird.
that.
It is the
No,
way.
no. It's not weird at all. It's thoughtful. I think you're very thoughtful about it.
Yeah, I try to it seems like I go backwards sometimes, but
No, I mean sometimes you're just thinking about things. Like you shouldn't automatically have a very fully formed opinion on certain subjects. Everybody thinks they're supposed to, and if you don't, you're an idiot. But there's nothing wrong with not having a fully formed opinion as long as you're honest about it.
I always say that. I always say the same thing. I go, as long as you're careful to say it, like because, and I do. I try to go, look, I'm still taking in stuff because I think it lessens the anger of people at home that really genuinely might know you're wrong.
Yes.
I feel like they always tell them, be comforted, because if I get an email and it's intelligent and somebody breaks it down, you know what I think? The first time I read an email that educates me, I go, holy fuck, I want to do an earlier podcast because I want to come back on and go, totally didn't think about that.
Right.
So knowing that I will do that always lets me think, okay, I'm comfortable to sometimes speak before I have formulated my opinion.
Yeah, it's important, I think. And it's important to be honest about what you actually know and what you don't know. There was one of the funny things about this Midnight in Paris movie was that his wife in the movie was there was a guy you saw in the clip who's this like super intellectual guy who's like judging wines, and he was a real annoying dude. And throughout the film you saw Woody Allen's character like battle with this guy about like facts and ideas and deal with his by bullshitting him, so it's, I don't know, I think it's important to let people know what you actually do know. And in this movie, it was pathetic. It was funny, but Woody Allen was always pretending that he had facts that he didn't have.
Was that like the
yeah? He would argue with this guy about some things that he hadn't researched
great.
at all. It was really funny. It was funny because he didn't.
When you get lost, you're glad you come back because it's
Yeah.
like, what a great. And that movie's out right now?
Yes. Well, I watched it on a plane, but it was 2011 movie, so you could probably get it on, probably get it on Apple TV or something like that.
We've
Netflix,
all done that.
Yeah, especially when you're young, bullshit your brains out.
Somebody posted on the message board that in the pollution in Beijing is pretty much identical to the level that Pittsburgh had in 60 years ago, and posted these photos of Pittsburgh.
Whoa, that's crazy. But that could be fog. I'm assuming it's not though.
No, there's a
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's real?
Yeah.
And that's 19 what?
60 years ago. So
who? What's the guy's name?
Vinegar Taster. And,
Thank you, Vinegar
and
Taster.
Put a link to an article.
Wow.
That was
Pittsburgh not long ago. Whoa, that's nuts. Oh my God, look at it on a map. Look at that from the sky. That's insane. Oh my God. When you look at it from the top, like from an airplane, it looks like a big black cloud or a gray cloud. over the city. That's bananas.
Not anymore.
Banana.
They cleaned it up all nice and good.
Oh, my headphones.
Pittsburgh Engineering.
Is that because it's like the steel city and they probably had shitloads of steel factories and stuff like that probably back when they still do, don't they?
Yeah.
I would imagine, I would imagine that's a lot of what the pollution is.
You know, whenever there's bad in the past, I remember in school I would ask my teacher, because it's the only way I could visualize. I had no concept of the 1300s, so I would ask her anytime we talked about an era if there were stores then. Because in my head, that's when they, and I think she was always very nice to me, but I think after a while I stopped asking it, because were there stores then?
I wonder if they even had locks back then. They must have, right?
Locksmith.
Lock's been able, but would they have, okay, let's find out. When was the invention of the lock?
They used to have those keys, like you know when you go to a hotel and they still have the old key, and you're just like, really, you don't have a key card yet? I'm carrying around this big.
That's always weird, isn't it? Isn't the place in Austin? Don't they give you a key?
Yes.
Key. Okay, the history of locks. I need to know this. Okay, ready? This. The first serious attempt to improve the security of the lock was made in 1778. The first lock was ready for this? Estimated to be 4,000 years ago. It was a forerunner to a pin and tumbler type of lock, a common Egyptian lock for the time. That's insane. The lock worked using a large wooden bolt to secure a door, which had a slot with several holes in its upper surface, and the holes were filled with wooden pegs that prevented the bolt from being opened. So that was the first invention of the lock.
Proving people that have been stealing shit for years. There's no year to go back to.
Stealing shit, well, also figuring it out. You need a gang of people working on this kind of stuff in order to get things happening. You know, if you're going to figure out how to make a wheel or make a car you need a lot of motherfuckers. A dude who knows how to make tires, figured out how to make rubber. You need a dude who understands suspension components. You need a dude who understands the combustion engine. How do you get that into a car to make it? We need a transmission guy. There's a lot of different variables. And one person's not going to invent a car.
Yeah, but even when you, that's it's funny to think about, like, someone. I don't think about back then the process that goes into it. Like, someone invented the wheel because that was the forward thinker of that time. Where was he writing his stuff down? Like, what year was that?
I
like,
wonder.
Is that?
When was the invention of the wheel?
So they didn't have they couldn't have written then. By the way, my history is atrocious. So if I ask any questions, like what?
No, it's all right. You're not pretending to be an expert. We're just talking.
Caveman time is wheel, right?
I don't know, man. That's a good question. That's what I'm saying.
I always picture the worst. For some reason in my head, every listener, like, even though I know I'm crazy, is this. No, he's talking about the map. He knows nothing about the map. I can't listen to him.
Well, there's images of it as recently or as far back as 2,500 BC.
That was for what?
For a wheel, the invention of the wheel. The earliest well-dated depiction of a wheeled vehicle, the earliest, is 3,350 BC. It's a clay pot that has wheels.
Okay,
wow.
I'm not even joking when I ask this, even though you would think the answer would be no. I bet I'd be wrong for thinking that. The guy who had whatever you got things around before that probably thought the guy with the wheel was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't see it in his head, or like, now it's hard to imagine someone not understanding a wheel.
Well, it's pretty fucking incredible.
What if the old one was a square, and then it was like that guy's like, hey,
it's a star. It digs into the dirt good. You get good traction.
Yeah, you need to take a break, and then you keep pulling.
That's where the Jewish star came from. They drove around it. They put it on a stick, and the guy sat down there in the middle, and the guy pushed him. It was great for plowing fields as well. You could till the soil as you drove. It was good for agriculture. They drove around these Stars of Davids until someone say, hey, how about you just make it fucking round, man? Hey, look at this fucking guy. He knows everything.
How are we going to plow the fields if we have round wheels?
What are you going to do? You're going to just drive around like an asshole? Like, what do you do? Are you going to make roads everywhere? Is that what you're going to do? You're not gonna do anything that's gonna go in the dirt. Oh, you're gonna make your own road. Well, how many roads do you think they're gonna be? You know how stupid that is? You think the world is gonna be covered with roads all over the place where you can just drive your stupid fucking car that doesn't even drive over logs. There's logs everywhere. What are you gonna make roads everywhere? That's a stupid invention. That's what they probably said. Get the fuck out of here with this. There's going to be roads everywhere. The fuck out of here. Get on your horse and shut your fucking hole. This is as good as we got, bro.
That's
very interesting.
See what you're.
It's really interesting. It's really interesting.
Like, did they just take horse paths and just kind of made them wider?
No, they had to fucking. They used tools. There's a lot of times they use tools. I mean, you look at some of those old California roads where you're going up the coast. You can tell they carved it out of the wall. They carved tunnels. Like in Northern California, especially, they carved holes through the buildings or through the rocks.
And we're talking
long time ago.
Yeah,
they did that shit a long time ago. They carved paths around mountaintops 200, 300 years ago. They did it a long ass time ago. They did it before there was any cars. They did it when there was wagons. They would grade the ground. They would cut it and smash it down and roll it with things. They pulled things with horses. They tried to get the ground as soft or as flat and straight as possible, but barely. And they only did it like, here's where the food is, here's where we go to sleep, and this is where we got to work. Let's get this and that and this, and then everybody stayed in that area. You didn't go anywhere back then. You didn't get in your fucking horse and buggy and go to Arizona. We're taking the kids are going to go to California for the weekend.
You ever see those bells on the side of the 101? I don't know if you ever seen it. There's these bells, or like they're just hanging on the side of the 101, and you're like, what the fuck is that? It's like every mile.
Really?
Yeah, and it's like I always wondered what it was, and that's the actual original path that they had dug out, and they kept the bells there.
And that was back when it was horse and buggy.
Yeah, horse and buggies.
Yeah, they made some roads with horse and buggy, but people lived on the coast. Most of the time, there was some towns in the middle where somehow or another people got there because of the trains or something along those lines. But when it was pre-train, like way back 1700s and shit, they came in boats.
Let me ask you this then. So, like, let's say this they start this village somewhere.
Right.
Was there still a hierarchy of who doesn't do as much work as other people, or at that point?
Of course, I'm sure that's always existed.
That's crazy to think. So, what? Like, there'd be a person that would stop and not. Maybe they get to ride the horse or something. It'd be like a may pretend job for them.
I think people died off easier that way because people didn't want to breed with them, and I think it's certainly always been a looked down upon aspect of people's personalities. But it's also super fucking common, man. There's a lot of lazy bitches out there, and there's a lot of people that don't understand how that being lazy like that is so bad for you in every way. You're never going to achieve anything you ever want to. You're never going to meet your expectations. You're never going to improve. You're never going to feel like a real sense of like accomplishing things. You're just lazy. You're never going to put out. You're never going to really go for it. And it's there for you to see so that you can see how gross it looks to other people. So when you meet someone, I think, you meet someone who's troubled. Oftentimes, it's one of the best things that you could see without having to go through it yourself.
If you apply it.
Yeah, if you see what makes it feel weird about you. Like, I don't remember who said this. I think it was Mark Twain or one of those fucking guys. He said, a fool learns from the mistakes that he makes. A wise man learns from the mistake of others.
Yeah, I love those.
Yeah, those are great.
They're great because they say so much. It's
that's a big one, and that was one
that's a great one.
I think it was Mark Twain. I mean, who the fuck knows who it was? It might have been Benjamin Franklin.
Somebody great said
some old bad motherfucker who lived a long time ago, wrote shit down on some crappy paper.
Did you ever even think, or would even be something you'd want to think of, if somebody said like, what's a quote? You can get it to go down. Or they're doing a wall of quotes, and they call you, and you get to have one of your quotes up there with all the.
I would never pick it. Never in a million years.
Oh, that's right. You can't pick it.
Yeah, you would never. That's like giving yourself a nickname. It's Todd Glass, the comedy medicine man. Hey, I got Indian feathers on. I go, hey, I'm here to do a shaman ceremony. I'm the comedy medicine man. You can't nickname yourself.
I was jealous of those guys, too. Oh, Dr. something? Oh, fuck. What could my thing be? Jesus. That's why it bothers me when there's somebody in the business. Maybe you...
We can't pick your own quotes, and you can't... I want to say this one thing, though. I put this on my Twitter, and some people still keep retweeting it. There's a thing that somebody attributed to me that was not my quote at all. It was a quote by Greg Giraldo. And I tried to tell people, like, when it happened, I tweeted it, but there's like a picture of me, and it says, this homeless guy asked me for money the other day, and I was about to give it to him. Then I thought, he's not going to use it on drugs. He's just going to use it on drugs and alcohol. Why should I give it to him? Then I realized that's what I'm going to use it on. Why am I judging this poor bastard? It's actually Greg Giraldo. Somebody must have gotten him confused with me and attributed that quote to me, but that's not my quote. He was a really, really fucking funny guy, too. Greg Giraldo was... a good dude, too. I knew him way back in the 1990s. He was out here doing his own TV show right next door while I was doing news radio. So, we were super friendly. He's a really nice guy. Really fucking smart guy, too.
That's a great... That's a great joke too.
Yeah, it's fun. Well, that's his style. That's totally. It even sounds like a Geraldo joke.
I didn't know him well, but it almost says more about that type of comedian and the good part about comedy, because I love comedians.
Yeah, me too.
And I
love that. I love comedians and love comedians too.
I appreciate that,
Yeah.
because it is something I really try to be aware of, how lucky I am to be. Like, even though I'll complain about some of the ones that I don't like, it's never new comedians that I complain about. It's just really old bad comedians that do have no desire to change.
That's my number one problem.
It's not a new guy that might change. I don't judge a new guy that acts like another comedian, because you know what? He might grow out of it. I've seen comedians that emulate other comedians, and then you look at them 2 years later, you go, oh, they came into their own. Yeah. I don't judge in the beginning. I just root for it all, and I'm positive.
It's very similar to musicians who do that.
Really? Yeah, because so anyway, when I talk about that, the guy that's doing it for like that, but this all started positive, but overall, I love comedians, and it's a great fraternity to be a part of. And most of them are pretty decent and pretty soft and pretty cool and pretty honest. You hang out, you feel good around them.
I love Dom Irrera, and one of the things I love about Dom Irrera is always working on his act. Always. He truly loves comedy. It's not just what he does for a living. He truly loves doing comedy, and he works on it all the time. He hasn't ever hit the give up switch. Some guys just hit that give-up switch, and then they start complaining, and you're around them, they're complaining about the business keeps screwing guys like me, and you're like, dude, I haven't heard your set in forever. I haven't seen a special out of you in forever. I haven't seen you haven't seen a website that's out. I haven't seen blogs you've written. I haven't seen a podcast you've done. I haven't seen a fucking Letterman appearance. I haven't seen anything from you. You stopped doing comedy, and now you're whining. Like, shut the fuck up.
Oh,
just go and do it. They're a drag, man. They're a fucking drag.
There's such a big difference from complaining, because I know someone taking this out of context, including me, going, I love complaining about clubs that don't get it or when they don't set it up right. But that's not my majority. I also spend a shit ton of time talking about good and positive things.
Yeah.
But the other guys, after a while, it's hard to be around them, because you're like, you have to do a lot of head nodding, and you think at one point, don't they realize I'm not agreeing? Because I get to the point where I can't agree. I'll feel
it's
too
ear
gross.
beating. You're taking an ear beating.
Yeah.
They just beat you down.
What are you going to do? You just give them a little bit of that, and they accept that.
Oh, those guys are brutal. There was a guy that I was friends with that I had to stop. This was back in the day. I was friends with him for a long time. Like, I met him in the 90s. And he did not do well. He moved out to Los Angeles and had just a real insecure guy, had real problems with, trying to go on auditions. He was trying to be a comedic actor. I liked the guy. I enjoyed him. Like, there was a percentage of the time that I loved being around him. I loved it when we were laughing and joking and talking about things. I loved being around him. But then there was another part that was maybe it was only 10, 20% of the time. It was unbearable. It was torture. And I tried to let him know. I tried to say, look, man, I appreciate that you're struggling. I appreciate you're out here in California, and, it's hard to make things happen. But here's what you got, man. You're a talented guy. You're a talented guy. You're a funny guy. Just keep doing it, and you'll figure out what it is. You'll find a manager. You do an audition. You'll make a set that goes on. Dude, you're going to find it. The most important thing is that you're enjoying yourself, and you're out here, doing what you love to do for a living. That shit never flew with him. Why is this fucking guy? This fucking guy's on TV? How come this fucking guy got a development deal? You know what, man? I'm turning the TV. I'm seeing this fucking guy with a show, and I'm like, maybe this is not the business for me. Maybe I'm in the wrong business. I saw that fucking guy's set. This fucking guy was terrible. Let me tell you something. I mean, he was like open mic night terrible. Like,
Can I tell you what I told someone who, by the way, they're not that case yet. And matter of fact, if half my life is being afraid of saying any names.
Don't say it.
This isn't even a bad thing. Like, this is actually giving this person, credit.
Right.
But that they were aware of it. But it has to do with what you're talking about, complaining. But not that bad yet. But it could be going down that path, and maybe I want to help a little. And I said, let me ask you a question. If some celebrity offered you, I didn't know what figure to make up. I go $10,000 a month right now. $10,000 a week, exactly, to write funny tweets. It's a weird pretend thing, but I go, they call you on the phone. He goes, listen, I want to start tweeting more, and my voice. You'll give them to me at the end of each day. I'll pick a few I like, and it's a good paycheck, but it's okay. I'll give you $10,000 a week, whatever it would. Would you be able to do that? He goes, no. I asked, well, could you think?
No, but go ahead, him.
I asked him, and I know he could. He goes, yeah, and I went, well, then write some for yourself. Wow. Like, why are you not? That you at least should be tweeting funny tweets. Now, me, could I do it? No, but I don't want to get a job as a writer. I don't think that's my strong point. This person is.
Right.
So, like, you know, write some funny tweets. Like, take advantage of what there is.
Well, if you just have a couple thousand followers, okay? Let's say if you're a comedian, you're struggling, you got 1,000 followers. Let's say 1,000. I guarantee you, out of those 1,000 people, if you say something that's truly funny, they're going to hit that retweet button. And it might be a slow trickle where it'll be like a few other people will get it, and then a few other people get it, and a few people steal it, and they'll just fucking copy it and throw it. That's a real common thing with like non-known funny people with tweets. But then people get found because of that. Our friend Kathleen up in Toronto, /Lean on Twitter, she's we hung out with her in Toronto. She's just a Twitter comedian, and she wanted to do stand-up, but she never really did it. You know, me and Doug Benson, and who the fuck else was with us up there? I think it was Callan. Maybe. It was in Toronto. I don't remember. Was it Ari? Whatever. It might have been Ari. Whatever it was, she's really funny, and now she's got a development deal. She's like doing a show on MTV, right? All from Twitter.
Yeah, and we know people.
You're supposed to say that? You're not supposed to say anything?
I don't know.
Is it supposed to be incognito?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoops.
Oh, you don't.
I didn't know, man. You can't tell me shit like that, and then it's supposed to be a secret.
I don't know.
Okay,
yeah,
whatever it is.
We know people.
She's
that,
got. My point is, she's got like 50,000 Twitter followers or something. She's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, people are going to, and again, it's not me saying that about myself because tweeting is, I tweet and I like it. It's not my strong suit. But this person, if you're claiming you're a writer, anybody out there that says they're a writer should ask themselves the same question. Like, yeah, fucking, you're right. It doesn't mean you have 3 million overnight, but you will see your numbers grow. And obviously, we like I just said, we see a lot of these people. So it's just applying what certain people do to your friends that don't realize you could do it.
Here's what she said. Here's her latest tweet. Her name on Twitter is Princess Anus, and she writes, "Turned on the little heater under my desk at work, crunching numbers and cooking pussy." And she's showing her pussy, like her pants, looking down at the heater. It's right underneath her. She lives in Toronto. It's cold as fuck. Pull the picture up, Brian. It's hilarious. It's /Lean on Twitter.
How did you find out about this girl?
Somebody tweeted her. So she's got 71,000 followers now, and she's not like a famous person. Look at that. She shows a picture of her pussy above the heater. She's just a funny girl. She says a lot of funny shit.
Yeah, it proves that it works. Chris Carmona, he writes a lot of funny tweets, and people, you just start noticing it after a while. Someone forwards it to you.
She had a great joke about blowing a guy. Who like blowing so many drunks that she didn't pass her breath detector test because she had sucked a drunk guy's dick. It was really funny, man.
I love it when somebody like that. You know, I've said this a million times, but like I don't mind getting jealous when people, have early success. And so, hey, we have to remember the people that aren't doing it anymore. But I also try to turn the jealousy into motivation as opposed to like bitterness. Just try to like okay, that's cool. You get a little jealous and then think, what could I be fucking doing?
Or she says here, no matter what the letters are, all knuckle tattoos say, "Dad's gone." That's so rude. I just accidentally stubbed my face on a dick. A true friend will tell you when your yoga pants are sucking your pussy lips up like a 3-toed sloth. It's a funny fucking Twitter page, and she does it all the time. If you look at it, every couple of days she bangs out a good one. So like her like numbers, like she'll like take a couple of days off or something, but the numbers that she puts, like whatever she puts out there, is like really high quality. She doesn't have a lot of stupid tweets. Like mine is a lot of useless tweets. I mean, some of them are funny, and some
you
of
tweet
them
every
weird
day.
Shit, pretty much, yeah. If I find anything, I mean, I'll take days off. But if I find things that are interesting, I think it's my duty almost to like retweet things that I think are interesting. If you got like 1.5 million followers, and someone comes along and shows you something that you think other people would be interested in, it's almost your duty to send it out. Like, hey, check this out. Like they're your friends. Like that's what I would do with you.
That's a great way to look at it.
If you had an interest, like sort of like modeling, whatever, clays, fucking making sculpture, whatever the fuck it would be, sailboating, and I said, oh, Todd likes sailboating. This is a cool article on sailboating. Boom, I would send it to you. If you were into science, boom, I would send it to you. That's what you're doing on Twitter. Like someone sends you something that makes, you go, whoa. So you're sending it to all your friends. All those people on Twitter that are your followers. It's ironic that they're your followers. They follow you. They really should probably call them Twitter friends. That'd be like a nicer way to put it.
Yeah, it might be a little warmer.
It's really what it is,
Why are they following me?
Yeah. Fuck you, Father Time. and you're not my real dad.
I think I'm going to hire someone to write funny tweets for me.
Why not? Fuck it.
Anybody? Can I tell you, when they correct me on spelling, I want to have a goddamn... I want to find the person, and I don't want to do what I want to do because I have to calm down before I start doing what I want to talk to them at the end of the day. But I want to go, what is wrong with you? Yeah. Seriously, who are you? That's when I want to look at someone and go, who are you? You read that. I'm not going to yell at you. I'm just going to... When you read it and you saw there was a spelling mistake, is really that you were motivated to fix... Who are you? Who are you? What? Seriously, like, it sounds silly. I get it. But then there's also like, yeah, who are they? What do you do to everyone else in your life if that's what you, the first thing? Like, I'm trying to be funny. I'm a comedian. I'm not a good speller. But your goal, I get it.
Those people are angry. They're angry, Todd Glass. Life is not what they wanted it to be.
Well, let's say they said this. We're trying to help. I still go, all right, now you're just making yourself the victim.
There's a lot of that. You know what there is? There's paths. There's ways you manage your life, and there's paths you go down. And if you go down that I'm a victim path by instinct, by automatic, reflexively, a lot of people do. God damn, those people are annoying. Those people are so fucking annoying. It's a real problem.
I tend to agree with you on most of the things you say. You know, I'm always in pretty the same area. Sometimes you say it in a better way than I say, so it still helps to listen to it because it helps me fight the fight. So I think preaching to the choir is good. I don't think it's a waste of time.
We're doing a fingers up move. Preaching to folks listening to this.
I think sometimes it's good to hear it because it's like I say, it hit it from another perspective. I'll drop an analogy I use if someone gives me a better one. I'm like, oh, that's better. Mine's gone. I love that one.
I think we naturally, we were talking about cults earlier and you know, people arguing over ideologies. I think we naturally form tribes, you know, and I think there's some tribes are formed just based on behavior and belief systems and geography, and we get these weird things, and it's very dangerous.
You might think, I swear to you, I think this genuinely has to do with what we're talking about. I'm not trying to do a cheap segue. If I am, you'll know from my gut I didn't think I was.
I believe you 100%.
The only thing I wrote down that I wanted to talk to you about was, it's not here anymore, was when people, you said they will form tribes. People will decide.
Yeah.
So okay, here we go. So podcasting is basically taking radio and making it as, you know, just getting rid of the middle management. It's pure as stand-up. So that's what it is. It's getting rid of that person. So there's this thing that happened I think if you're right, that people will naturally create their own rules. So we got rid of the person. Now you just do what you want. And then there became this thing was you only do an hour podcast. By people that did podcasts. They decided that. And I felt a little bit of that. No, should I only do it? And then this is why I'm thanking you. If someone go, oh no, Joe Rogan, he does like 3-hour podcasts. I'm like, thank fucking God. Because it was like, yeah, like I want to do 3 hours. Leave me to. So, but that whole rule was made by, here's this great institution. Get rid of all the business. Radio, it's a great tool. Get rid of all the business. Get rid of anyone telling you what to do. It's just us now. And someone decided to go, yeah, you only do it as an hour.
Here's one thing I want to put out there, too. This is really important. You don't have to do commercials in the middle of your fucking podcast. You don't. I don't do it. I won't do it. I never will do it. I'm not interrupting the fucking show because it's brutal. It's brutal. It fucks with the conversation. It puts a hitch in the conversation unless you weave them in yourself afterwards in post. But if you interrupt the conversation, start reading off a page, we're starting from scratch again.
We've certainly heard good people that had to do it when they had radio do it, and it's not the best part of it, but we still love them.
They don't have to do it anymore.
But now you don't have to do that. Yeah. So I totally,
And one of the reasons you don't have to do it is because if you're selling things that you actually believe in, we have a series of different products that we agree to, but we've turned down a lot of products. I'm like, I have no use for that. I wouldn't use that in real life. I don't agree with it. I don't like what it is. I've turned down podcast sponsorships to promote things that I don't believe in, movies that I don't believe in, shows that I don't believe in. Once you make that sort of an agreement, people will support the things that support your show automatically. They would want to if it really is a good product. Who's that? That's me, goddammit. See that? You know what that is, bitches? What this is a Samsung Galaxy Note 3 that I'm super happy with. Oh my goodness. How do I reject
ringtone.
it? Reject a call with a message. Okay. Sorry, I'm busy. Call back later. I just sent a message.
You know what I always think of when I'm having conversations like this?
It's a beautiful sound. Look at the size of this thing, folks. At home? Just want to let you know. I'm 100% Android now. Fully converted, and not just fully converted, committed. Love it.
Sending
it's amazing.
emails and
it's great.
Is it okay in your pocket?
Yes. Yeah, it fits in my back pocket. I had his contact. It's a Google phone, unfortunately, so you have your phone contacts get confused with Google. That was the only issue. The only issue I've had at all was just merely transferring my contacts. That's it. Everything else has been great. The screen on this thing is amazing. Great.
There's two things
I figured that out. There's a program. Sorry, Todd.
Sorry.
There's a program called Smooth Sync for iCloud. It pulls it right over. It's easy. Takes 3 seconds. I'm super happy with this. The camera's a little weird.
What if we got off the air and you go, oh, it's a piece of shit, they're a new sponsor.
Shit. They're my new sponsor. There's just so much stuff you can do with these things that an iPhone would never let you do. There's so much weird shit that you can get done with these things.
Is that thing too big, though, to carry around in your pants?
No. You know what's not big? It's just a matter of getting used to it. Look, I have a magazine that I choose on my own. I choose all the content and scroll through it every day, and it gives me stories based on interesting shit. It comes standard with the phone. It's so easy to cut and paste images and put them in a scrapbook, cut and paste URLs, save websites. You save documents on it. You can actually download and save things, which the iPhone never lets you do. You're not allowed to download things on the iPhone. Just put them in a file. On this, you can put things in files. When you want to play music, you just grab the music and drag it in there. It takes 3 seconds. You don't have to load iTunes or anything weird like that. It's way more. It gives you way more freedom. In a lot of ways, that's bad, and for some people, it's probably not what they want. They want something that just works, you know? But if you're a person like me that's like really into technology and finds it fascinating to fuck around with new things, you can't beat that screen, son. That's gigantic. When you go and read websites on this, it's almost like a laptop.
Why wouldn't you get just a little iPad?
Why would I want it when I have this?
Yeah, but
it's in my
just
pocket.
Seems super big. It seems ridiculous
it
to carry that
gets so
around.
easy to use. It's easy. It fits right in my pocket. It seems bigger than it really is. I mean, it is. It's big to the point where it's not like I'm sitting on my fucking shirt here. It's big to the point where, like, if you had it in your pocket, you wouldn't want to sit down. You wouldn't want to sit down like this with it in my back pocket. But if I'm just like walking around, it fits fine. This is,
It's huge, yeah.
It is huge, but it fits. The difference being, to me, first of all, it's fascinating. I like fucking around with the new operating system. I like playing with it. Everything seems to work real easy. The processors, the fucking pictures are incredible. The pictures this thing takes they're magical. I mean, it's just, I don't know, what is it, 12 megapixel or something?
By the way,
crazy?
I still think it is hilariously funny because I know it just gracefully happened, but we're talking about I would never do it as sponsor. And then I know you're feeling like...
Oh, that's not a sponsor.
I know. No, that's what I mean.
This phone doesn't sponsor me.
No, that's what I mean. Sometimes, like, in life, I'll say something. I will be so passionate about something like you are, and I go... There's no way if they filmed that, they could ever play that because there's no fucking way anybody would believe that was real. But it is. I'm like, there's some product I'm talking about, and I go off on how good it is. How could nobody have it? And then I think, there's no way someone would believe that. But that's how passionate I am.
But I believe you because I know that you wouldn't do that. But there's some people that would. Where some people would sneak in a commercial and pretend that they really love their Galaxy Note phone, and it's really just a commercial.
You think there's somebody
being a silly person?
Yeah.
But the idea of commercials interrupting things is unnecessary, and it's not just unnecessary. It's not good for the product. It's not good for the experience. Just get good sponsors, play it in the beginning, play it at the end, say thank you to your sponsors, let everybody know those are your sponsors. We've had a lot of like really loyal sponsors like Ting and Squarespace, and it's because we'll mention them even when we're not doing a commercial. I really believe in Squarespace. I mean, it might be one of the ads for this show, but they're fucking great. It's a beautiful design. It's a great way to make websites. If I find something cool, I would let you know, even if it's not paying me money to let you know.
Right. You know how it's we always guess what we would do, what we wouldn't do. And I know it's always a hypothetical when you turn down, because you can act morally on your high ground when you turn down something that wasn't offered to you. But we do it all the time. Right. We all may pretend as comedians. Would you do this? Would you do that?
Right. I wouldn't do Batman.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do a fucking mainstream comic book movie.
And you don't know until those things are put ahead of you, until those things are put in front of you. And the first one, now granted, I'm not saying I turned down some shit ton of money, but at least it was an example when I did stick to my instincts of don't do something bad. I learned the copy for this phone thing, and then I remember the next day waking up and going, look, again, you know how much I would have made. It's a new sponsor who received a check for $50 maybe. I don't know what we get.
Right.
But I didn't understand. It was one of those ones that I hate. I go, you can't. So I was afraid that they were going to be like, oh, no, you have to do it. I called back. Katie at the time, and I went, Katie, I don't even fucking understand this, and it's like, I don't want to. She goes, oh, you don't have to do it. I was like, oh, cool.
It's your thing.
Yeah, I didn't know if there was some, come on, they're supporting us now, but they were like, no. So that really made me happy.
Yeah. It's nice, and you can also, people will gravitate. Like, there's been a few people that we've talked about their products on the show where they've never been sponsored, but people know about it because of us. And I just want people to know about that. Like that Green Mountain Grill guy that has those pellet grills.
Great grills.
Gave us these. He doesn't pay us. He gave us these grills, and he's like, "Look, I just think these things are amazing, and I would love to sponsor the podcast." It didn't work out. He doesn't sponsor the podcast, but they're so cool. I got to tell people about them. I would always tell people about them, whether it was a sponsor or not. You could cook something, one of these fucking things, for like hours at a time. They use pellets, like hardwood pellets. They're called pellet grills. It's like a new thing.
Oh, it's funny.
And
My mom had
the temperature stays exact. So, like, if you want to cook a roast outside, like smoky hardwood, and cook it for like 300 degrees for like 4 hours or something like that, you do that. You just set it. It's amazing.
I didn't know that there were pellet grills because my parents live in an old home in Philadelphia, and they had a pellet stove in the living room, and they would come in bags, and they're like wooden, and they're very natural.
Yeah,
it's very
It's just compressed hardwood. There's natural sugars in the wood.
It looked like rabbit food a little bit.
Yeah, it does. It looks like that kind of cat litter I use too.
Yeah, the green stuff.
Do you use that stuff? That pine stuff? It's the best stuff. It kills the smell the best.
Yeah. How many do you have? How many cats do you have?
Two.
Two? What are they?
Just cats.
Are they?
One of them is a ragdoll cat. You know what those are? They go limp when you pick them up. They're like real sweet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the other one is she's a mutt. She's part Persian and part like tomcat. She's like 16 years old. She's 16 years old. She acts like she's a kitten.
It's crazy.
She's totally healthy.
Yeah,
so when you come home, she talks to you. Meow, meow, meow. Like my whole house thinks it's hilarious. Just have conversations with this cat. What? Meow, meow. Sometimes it's annoying. I'm not gonna lie, but you know, she's a cool cat.
Yeah.
Cool cat.
My friend Andrea.
She's just needy.
My friend Andrea has a cat, and it's crazy. Not only does it, which I've seen a lot when like you go into someone's house. I like if a cat jumps up on the sofa next to me.
Sure.
But it eats potato chips, whatever you're eating, it wants to eat, and it fetches. So I'm like,
hilarious.
Are you shitting me?
I used to have a cat that fetches.
See, I would if you're home alone and you have a dog or cat, anything. Just to have it is a bonus when your cat fetches because it's like you can do something. And the potato chips, because it's like you're home by yourself and you're just sitting there. The fact that this other thing wants something and you give it one and it eats it, you don't give it too much of it.
This cat hated everybody but me, though. It was great because it fetched balls. You'd take a little ball of paper and crumple it up in a ball, and I would toss it, and it would chase after it and swat it, and then it would bring it back to me, and then I would throw it again. We would play games. But she hated everybody but me. She hissed at me when I saw her in the pet store. Like, all the other kittens were in this little pet store, and she just like hissed at me. I was like, oh, give me that one.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I want. Like, she's crazy.
Well, that's the one that needs.
Yeah.
That's the one that needs.
Well, not just that. I don't know. I'm always been akin to the wilder creatures.
You don't have a dog?
I have two dogs.
What type of dogs do you have?
Shiba Inu English Bulldog mix and a Mastiff.
Oh, you have a Mastiff? That's
cool.
The other one, I'm not sure what it is, but a Mastiff, I know what they are.
Yeah, he's a small Mastiff. He's 140 pounds. So it's called a Regency Mastiff. It's half Neapolitan Mastiff, and they breed them with pit bulls to make this dog. It's like a really athletic Mastiff. But they're big. It's a big, like 140-pound dog, but it moves like a panther. It's crazy how fast these things are and how powerful they are. But super sweet. Like the sweetest dog. I got him for his personality. His dad was on Fear Factor, and I couldn't believe how sweet the dog was. We would use him as an attack dog. We'd put people in these suits, and he would send them out to attack. But to the dog, it was just a game. Like, he wasn't mean to people at all. But when the owner told him what to do, that was the game, was to go do it. And then he got rewarded for that. So we put these people in these giant attack suits. And this dog just grabbed them and boom, threw them to the ground, but was never mean. Like, when it was over, out. He stops, he backs up. And I go, how is this dog so cool? And he goes, I don't let the assholes breed. He goes, I make sure that all my dogs, they never have any dog aggression. They never have any people aggression. So this dog was just chilling with all these other dogs. He's it looks like a lion, like this black lion. And it's just sitting there. I mean, he was even bigger. He was 190 pounds. His father was very big. But he's just sitting there. And I'm like, why is that dog so nice? Like, this doesn't even make sense. Everybody would come by, who would like look at you, wave his tail. Hi.
That's why I remember my mom bred dogs when we were growing up, and like one, not like a puppy mill or anything. And she said that when dogs bite out of fear, they're not going to bite when something really happens anyway. It was the minute somebody takes a shovel and lifts it up in the air or their hand, those dogs cower.
Yeah.
So the dogs that are trained from like same thing like what you're saying. My friend's a cop, and to see the dog, how calm it is. Like I know what that dog's capable of, and then it's so.
They're super confident.
It doesn't bite out of fear.
Exactly.
It doesn't bite out of fear. You know,
that's the thing about these Mastiffs. It's one of the reasons why they're such great dogs, because they're really like relaxed and calm around people. They're not worried about you. What are you going to do? Like, unless you have a gun, what are you going to do to a 190-pound Mastiff? Not a lot, man. This isn't going to take long. You know, they listen to us out of love. And, you know, when you have a dog that you raise from a puppy and really love, this guy, his name's Joe, and he has this. I mean, he doesn't have a puppy mill at all. He has the opposite. Like they're called Regency Mastiffs, and it's a breed that he created himself that he's been working on for like decades. And so he's like super specific about what dogs he lets breed. And at the end of the day, he has this amazing companion. Like this Johnny Cash is my dog. He's the sweetest dog I've ever had in my life. I mean, he's just a gentle, big giant he loves everybody. He loves my 3-year-old. He loves my 5-year-old. Loves other kids. Other kids come over. He's immediately like happy. He doesn't get weird around them. He's like super. Any friend that comes over, you've met Johnny. Mm-hmm. He's super friendly, right? Like immediately. You don't feel sketched out by him at all, right?
Right. No, I love your dogs. Both of them.
Yeah, and Boo Boo's very sweet too. They're both sweet dogs.
You know, one time I was about 5 years ago watching a friend's dog, and I saw one day in the street what the dog did to another. Like, he went. I've never seen him like that type of aggression towards another dog.
Scary.
Nothing happened. I had him on his leash, but I was like, I never saw it. And I remember thinking it was the type of dog that when I had him, I would bite his face and just love him and bite him. And I thought, I'd be afraid to do that now. But guess what? By that night, I did. I was like, because he was so like, I go, that's a different. And I'm a chicken, but I get it when people are comfortable around animals because they'll sense it. Because I don't know why. I just thought, no, he's that way with that dog. So I'm like going back to biting him.
Well, he's also probably protecting you. He doesn't trust that dog. He doesn't know why that dog's near him. That dog is violating his territory by being a stranger and near him like instinctively. So unless he's socialized, unless you take them around other dogs all the time, it's a natural instinct to want to ward off other dogs. That's why raising a dog, you could raise a dog that's really sweet with people, which my dogs were, but then have real problems with other dogs, especially if it's genetic, like pit bulls or something along those lines. I've seen it. There's no way you can avoid it. You can't avoid it. The only thing you could do is socialize those dogs and bring them around a lot of other dogs and constantly reprimand them or stop them from attacking, stop them, and keep them exercised. You got to wear them out. Like throw the ball with them, have them play, and only like make it a positive experience when they meet other dogs. But still, you could run into some other dog that tests them, and next thing you know, they're going at it. But they don't have that to you, though. Like, all my dogs that I've ever had, whether they had problems with other dogs or not, they've all been sweet to people. All of them. They just can't wait to jump up and kiss people because that's all they get. All they get is sweetness. At home, you know, they get, hey, don't eat that. Hey, don't chew that. No, bad. But they don't get beat up. They don't get yelled at. They get kissed and hugged. You know, and when you have an animal like that, you know,
you were saying when they get around other animals that they haven't seen. That's why a long time ago I made this rule, like, it would be like a bunch of us renting maybe a house up in like Arrowhead or something, and where people go, hey, can we bring the dog? And I would trust them. They would go, he's so calm. But then someone else would ask, and if there were two dogs, they weren't, and they would all apologize all week, and they're not normally like that. I know, but they are here.
Yeah,
you're bringing them around,
and they're fighting,
or they're even if it's not somebody, even if their dog's calm at home, sometimes it cannot be calm at another place because it's not comfortable and there's noises. So I'm not mad at the dog, but I'm like. There's always exceptions. I get it. But overall, my feeling is there are exceptions, but overall, leave your dog at home.
I totally agree. I've brought my dog places, and it's selfish. It's selfish. I was selfish when I did it, and people who do it, they don't think they're being selfish, but I mean, you could do it. Like, if it's one of my friend's dogs, and I love the dog, and I've been around the dog a lot, and I don't mind, that's one thing. But a lot of times, the dog dominates your thinking. Now the dog. Where's the dog? Is the dog in the kitchen? Where's the dog? The dog in my bathroom? You know, where's
That's what happened.
Hey, why's your dog in my bathroom, man?
When we went camping, I wasn't crazy that these people. By the way, you know why I always say there's always exceptions? Because I live a very maybe it's not a paranoid life, but I've had dogs where people bring them, and I'm happy they brought their dog.
Of course.
I even ask. I go, no, bring your dog, bring your dog. So but overall, you got to test the waters a little. You know what I mean? I don't want anybody that I would think that would listen and go. I'd be like, no, your dog, I really did like. I'm not just making exceptions, but overall, leave your dog at home.
Yeah, overall, unless you have an understanding,
Right.
You know, or unless your dogs like each other. Like I had my friend Robbie when I first got my dog. He had a dog that was a boxer, and him and my dog were like they would get together, and they're both basically the same age. I think his dog was like a little bit older, and they would just go fucking nutty, just run around in circles and bounce up in the air. When they saw each other, they were so excited because they were pals. Like they had decided like really early on. They play fought and stuff like that, but they were buddies. So when they were around each other, they're like, "Holy shit! I can't believe you're here! Woo!" And they would just start bouncing and jumping, and it was fun. It was, but we had to watch them. You know, we had to watch them every 5 seconds.
You forget about those two type of dogs because you're right. On the most part, you're lucky if they just don't care about each other.
Right.
But when they get along, it is like two. I remember growing up, we had our friends' parents who would bring their dog over, and you could just tell they were like just in the yard and getting along and like just you're like look at them, they're friends.
Yeah, it's cool when dogs are buddies. You know, it's cool when they you know and dogs are pack animals too. That's the other thing. Dogs want to be around other dogs. Like they love being around people, but they also love being around dogs. Like to leave a dog by itself all the time, it's kind of sad. It gets lonely. You know. Yeah, your dog, selfish bitch. Poor little dog.
No, I'm pretty good except for Mondays are the worst.
Hey,
how long?
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Do you ever have somebody that'll go like? How long can you?
Dog sitter.
What do you think the reasonable amount of time on it? 5 days a week to leave your dog at home alone is?
4 days.
Ooh, well,
You know,
inside
5
the
days
house,
a week. Yeah,
inside the house is tough.
Let's so we can let's say doggy door to a yard. Oh wait,
Well,
no, why that
depends on how
widens
big
it a
your
lot.
yard,
That
yeah.
widens it a lot.
That makes a big
The
difference.
person I'm thinking of, no doggy door.
Oh, that's not good.
My dog's potty trained on pee pads.
Oh,
and
that's-
so
well, that's
it's pretty.
It
pretty
sounds good on paper. What it is these paper towels with shit on them in your house.
Yeah, it's fucking gross.
It's fucking disgusting. I know this potty train. He only shits all over the place there. It's gross. It's beyond gross.
Well, the worst is like my old dog used to just when I had carpet would piss and you would never know about it. And then so when we tore up the carpet, it was just like, oh my god, how much piss did this dog?
That actually might have
do?
been your cat.
He shits all over the
I
place.
bet your dog
over
pissed
there.
too, but your cat pissed a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, they'll piss, especially the cat. If the cat is upset that you live with a dog now, like you brought a dog into the cat's house, and the cat just started like, "Bitch, I'm just gonna piss everywhere. You're not even here, you motherfucker. I'm gonna treat this thing like I would treat it." Like they totally decide that it's theirs. Like I haven't seen that guy in 10 hours. I'm just gonna piss. Like what would I do in the wild? I would just piss right here. So that's what they start doing. The litter box stinks. He doesn't clean it. I'll just piss behind the couch. Just piss
Fucking
over
cats.
here
That
under the
smell.
refrigerator. Hey, they want to be treated right. My cats don't piss in the house. You know when my cat was pissing in the house? When I would change the litter box like every couple days. I would change it like every 3 or 4 days, and she would pee in front of the door sometimes, the old one. You can't yell at her. She's 16. But I'm like, what are you, stupid bitch? Like, what are you doing? You're pissing in my house. And then I realized, you know what? She only does that if the litter box is kind of funky. So now that I clean it every single day, she never does that. Stopped. You know, they don't want to do that. You just dirty bitch. You had a fucking big box of shit she was
Every
supposed to
day.
step in.
You know what I was thinking? If let's say you had a cat and you had like, well, you know what? What I'm about to say, probably we could afford it. Let's say it was $3,500. A hard plumbed cat box.
Hard plumbed?
Meaning that's what
Okay.
they call it. Like if you have like some people like take their trailer and they put it next to their home, and sometimes
Right.
they use it as a guest house. So I heard a plumber once go, you hard plumb it, which means you hook it up to the regular sewage, right?
Right.
So if you had like a toilet, but it's a cat box, wouldn't
That's
that be great in
possible.
New York? That's very possible.
Totally.
Like it's like a low toilet. Maybe there's some sort of litter. That way you never have to change your cat box. You just flush it.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like the cat be down with that. They want shit and dirt. That's
Dana
what they
Dearmont
really
Look,
want
what
to
if
do.
you put dirt in
Does in
there?
her toilet.
Yeah, there's cats that can do that, but doesn't she have one of those big crazy Sphinx cats or something?
No, she has the skinless cats.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a
Yeah.
Sphinx cat.
Is it?
Yeah.
Forgot
I
about
think-
to go in the toilet. Maybe my whole idea is not a good one.
Well, they do that. There's yeah, she has a Sphinx cat. I'm pretty sure that's the hairless one. There's I've seen pictures of it on Twitter. There's a bunch of people that have videos on how to train your cat to shit in the toilet.
Yeah,
Apparently
I
you can train
wasn't
them.
thinking.
Yeah, here, see, look. Here's Dana's doing it.
That's so crazy.
I'm watching you pee, doodlebug.
Dude, what is going on inside that toilet besides the pee?
That's like I think that's the training. That's the training thing, you know. To
to teach the cat how to
Yeah.
pee in there?
Girl.
Oh, that makes
You want
sense.
a treat?
Oh.
and then she gets a treat.
Oh, that's so smart. That's really smart. What a cool looking cat. That's an alien.
These cats are awesome. And if you're allergic to cats, these cats don't have dander, so you can actually have this as a cat.
Yeah. Are they supposed to be sweet?
Yeah,
They're supposed to be cuddly
her cats
because
are amazing.
they need body temperature. They
Right.
need body heat, so they want to snuggle with you all the time.
Yeah. She's always taking baths.
That's why they bred I would imagine, like, there was no really reason to breed the standard poodle to the golden retriever or Labrador, except that they know that they're big, cool dogs, but people wouldn't want it because it's a poodle.
Right.
But I think maybe, because we had a standard poodle growing up, and then when we were little, we didn't want to get it. My parents had to lie what they were, because we wouldn't want a poodle.
Why not? Because it's not cool enough?
It's not cool, a poodle. But my mom's
what kind
like,
of dog
no,
did you want? A lab?
Anything but a poodle.
Anything but a
Like,
poodle.
we were little, and we took us to this place. I remember it was like this woman, Ruth Lukens, and it was immaculate, and it was like a woman that really loved her little puppy she had, and they came running out, and we loved them. We was probably like in 5th grade or 4th grade. My brother's all about the same age, and they were so cool. And then we had to learn that they were eventually standard poodle. And we got one, Billy, and then Bear, and they were big. Like, Bear was like 90 pounds, 100, almost close to 100 pounds. He was a big male. But Labradoodle doesn't sound any cooler, you know.
Well, it's a thing, like a combination thing that people like, because it's a new thing, too. They love saying it in social circles. Oh, he's got a Labradoodle. I love those. Have you seen those? They're so cute. It becomes one of those
And
things.
they don't shed. That's the thing. Oh, that's the reason
clever.
they picked the standard poodle. You get the dog, it doesn't shed, they're smart, and then they...
That actually sounds really good. That sounds like a good dog.
They're pretty smart.
I like smart dogs, but here's the deal with smart dogs. You got to give them things to do, okay? If you have
when they're that type of smart.
Yeah,
or
like if you have a German
chew.
Shepherd. Like, people have German Shepherds, and they don't exercise them, and they don't give them tasks and have fun with them and play with them. If you don't do that, that thing's going to get bored as fuck, and that's a big-ass animal.
And how many people do you think go with the technology, with the age, how easy it is to do a little research on a dog and find that out? I bet there's so many people that get it, like they're at the time in their life when they don't think about it, which I understand.
Yeah.
They're going to go get a dog. Now, some people do, but other people wouldn't. They just get a dog. They have no idea. No one ever told them that huskies... So they just get a husky and then they learn. Like, you know what I mean? Like, now I could see that 40 years ago, but now you would think you would, but there's still people. I have friends that got a husky, friends of friends, and they were, we were camping and they told the story and I'm like, oh, they had no idea. They went, just got a husky.
What is this video, Brian?
You know, like, by the way, do I take that for granted or did you know huskies they want to be working, so if they're not, they do destruction? Is that something that most people know?
It's true. Yeah.
Today, you would
Huskies
think most people would know that.
Fuck up your, look at this German
They'll
Shepherd
dig out your
playing with a
yard.
bear.
Yeah, this guy just lets his German Shepherd play with his bear.
Notice I said friend of a friend's. I didn't want you to think all my friends were idiots.
Yeah. Look at this bear.
Such a great video. Have you seen this video, Joe?
No, that's wild.
Oh, it's amazing.
Guy's buddies with a bear. And the dog hangs out with the bear, too.
Yeah.
Well, that's all well and good as long as the bear really super likes you and you're with it all the time. That's the thing about those things. You got to be with them all the fucking time, man. You got to make sure they're well fed. You got to make sure that they're super comfortable with you. And yet still, those bears will eventually, they occasionally rather, turn on people.
I agree. You know, it's funny when this is my obsession with life. And I always see examples of it. Every time I see something now, I see an example. There's some people that would think putting a horn in that. I agree, by the way. Like, just try to have some dignity to the animal. The San Diego Zoo, you used to be able to... Now, keep in mind, it's still a zoo, so that's the bigger argument. But when we were little, I learned this. When we went back, they don't make them clap their hands anymore and wave to you, the bears. And I asked why. Because once when I went with my parents, they did when we were younger. Then when I was an adult and I went, they didn't do it. And the PETA said, you're dehumanizing the animal. They already don't want them at the zoo. Now, well, they're there. Can you give some dignity?
Yeah.
Does that make sense to me?
It makes sense to me that you, if you're going to a zoo, first of all, you should see an animal in a semi-natural environment. I think zoos should have a minimum size requirement for big animals. The saddest thing is when you see like a big animal and they're in a tiny ass fucking enclosure. Yeah. That's scary. It's a prison, a public prison. Everybody
and you would agree to so even though if the animal is happy, looks like it's happy doing it, there's no reason to make him.
There's no reason. There's no reason to make
play
it clap.
A fake trumpet.
Here's my question: who the fuck wants to see it clap? Why do you want to see a bear clap? You fucking weirdo! It's a bear.
You know why?
You're gonna see a bear. You should see that bear wandering around the woods in its natural environment. Anything else is human beings imposing their own power over this animal, and then all the crowd reveling in the fact. If a bear just clapped on its own, who would give a fuck? It's the idea that you tell the bear to clap, and look, the big giant furry killer goes to the bidding of the intelligent man. Yay, we win again. That's what the celebration is, and everybody cheers at SeaWorld because you got this majestic fucking orca.
So the reason
to jump for fish.
The reason that I think this is what happens a lot with people, and you know what? When I always talk about this, I always think, am I saying I'm perfect? No, but I hope I fucking grow. I try to be.
No, you're being honest about your
Right.
opinions on things. You're
Right.
not saying that you're perfect.
I'm not saying I'm perfect, but it could sound like it, I guess, if you listen to someone for a while thinking, oh, I try. I fucking at least try, and I make mistakes. So the question isn't to people when they go to SeaWorld, because I think a lot of people go this, I just went, and I didn't think, no, we're not asking you to judge yourself on when you went. When you went, that's, who gives it? You didn't think about it. Now, once you're educated.
Right. 100%.
I went to SeaWorld. I didn't think about it. I wasn't a bad person. I'm not going to hold on to the rest of my life that it's okay because I did it. Because if I admit that it's wrong, I admit I did something wrong. No, it's not wrong until you have knowledge, right?
Right.
So that's what the SeaWorld thing, going back to that, or the PETA, you know the same people were probably going, oh, they're just waving.
Right.
But now you think about it.
Why do you
it's
want
like,
that fucking bear to ride a bike?
Yeah, and I watched it the first time and liked it, but I was young. I didn't know, but you have to ride a bike. Like,
It's one thing if you have a bear and you teach it how to ride a bike and it loves it, and it's like, where's the bike? You know? It's one, but when you're making them do it for a fucking show, you know, it's like, come on, man.
Yeah, when you think about it. And
Did
again,
you ever
I went
see that
to
video. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right.
But did you ever see the video of the bears and the monkeys, and they're going around? They're riding bikes around a circle in Russia, and the monkey falls, and the bear attacks it, and they can't get the bear off the monkey. The bear kills the monkey in front of the crowd. Did you ever see that?
Yeah.
Bear attacks monkey.
Can I tell you
at
why do I
circus.
think? Although I know I wouldn't want my child to see that. But my instincts are to go good.
Well, you can't count on bears to do what you want them to do all the time. You can count on them if you train them to be nice to you. If you feed them and train them, you can count on them. But that is a wild motherfucking animal with a hair trigger idea of survival and death built into its DNA. And it's ready to explode at any fucking dangerous situation. And if it thinks a person is threatening its life, or if it thinks something is violating its instincts to avoid, look at this bear. The bear's on a bike.
Oh, there's video of this?
Yeah, the monkey. See, the monkey's in front. The monkey's in front of the bear. So scoot it ahead a little bit because it might take a few minutes. So the monkey's running, and then the bear's running. But the monkey falls, and the bear falls on top of the monkey and gets pissed and just goes after the monkey. And he's like, tearing the monkey apart in front of everybody, and they can't get him off the monkey. They're like, stop, please stop, please stop. They're pulling the monkey. They're pulling the bike, and the bear is just fucking this monkey up. And it's a big bear. And they can't do shit. They're trying to pull the monkey out of its hands or out of its mouth, but it won't let go. It's just mauling this monkey in front of everybody freaking out. But that's nature, man. This bear feels like it got attacked by the monkey. The bear is not understanding that he was on a bike and the monkey was on a bike. No, they pulled the monkey out, but it's dead. It's torn apart.
Gross.
The monkey is just minding his own business, doing what everybody tells him to do. But the bear thinks that the monkey attacked him. He doesn't. He knows. He's like, why did I get hurt? Oh, this fucking monkey! Like he attacked me, and so he just goes after him.
I think I feel good when I see it. Obviously not because of the monkey, because I think, okay, maybe that will remind people, yeah, they're fucking bears. The same old thing we think every time we see that stuff.
That's a cunty thing to do, to take an animal and imprison it like that. It's not a bad thing to do to look at them in the wild. It's not a bad thing to do to manage their numbers in the wild, including like wolves and bears. You got to kill a certain amount of them, especially if there's a lot of people in the area. You have to keep populations down. It's important. Mountain lions too. It's a big one. But that, to me, is not nearly as cruel as taking them and sticking them in a fucking animal prison so we can gawk at them. That shit should be illegal. I take my kids to the zoo, but I want to say right now I'm a hypocrite. I take them to the Santa Barbara Zoo. It's a beautiful place. I love it up there. But the reality is it shouldn't exist. It shouldn't.
Yeah.
If the very least, you should have some gigantic walled-in preserve where you could travel through their ranks undisturbed, like in some sort of a camouflage tube, but they should be able to hunt. The animals should have a natural ecosystem. We're completely dominating their ecosystem and forcing them to exist in an unnatural paradigm, the paradigm of cold food being slid in a tray under your door. And you have massive predatory instincts from thousands of years, millions of years, in fact, of DNA in your body, and you have these natural reward systems that you don't understand. You don't have language and context. You just have these natural reward systems beat in, and you're told to ignore them.
You know, you just sort of, whether this could happen or not, but bigger things have been built. You sort of just explain something that could happen. Like, there's this thing, obviously, with technology, to get it moved through this area silently would be easy.
Yeah.
Camouflage, you know, it looks like, and you get inside and there's windows that are one. And then if there's some way you could let all that happen, and what could you charge then to take this thing through there? First of all, it'd be
much more.
Maybe that could be, you know. But I liked what you said about you gotta go to the zoo, because like the opposite of that is, okay, I'm gonna take my kid to the zoo, so now I'm gonna just make pretend that it's okay. It's better to just say, yeah, I'm doing it, but it's fucking wrong.
I'm certainly hypocritical because I'm contributing to the problem. And
and I do the same thing, but I think admitting it is at least not disrespecting the people that are fighting the fight and we know they're right. Yeah. Like, I think one thing going is bad. The next level, and maybe I'm saying this to make my feel better, because I get ultimately don't go. But I think there's another level of, there's people out there, you're too lazy. You know their fight is right. You're a little too lazy or selfish and you don't listen. But don't fight them. Don't call them idiots. Mm-hmm. Just go, they're fighting the right fight, and I'm lazy right now.
I'm certainly selfish. I'm selfish more than I am lazy, because I want my children to experience these animals. That's why I go. I think it's fascinating for them to see gorillas and know that that's a real animal right there, and it freaks them out.
But SeaWorld, would you take them to that?
No. Well, I think even gorillas and chimps, I think it's gross. I think all that should be illegal. But it's legal and it's there, and I'm not sure how much impact. I know this. Believe me, folks, who are about you. You're writing right now. You hypocritical fuck. These animals are living beings. I agree with you 100%, but it's still there. It's there. The zoo is there. Do I think it should be there? Absolutely not. Do I think it should be illegal? And should I be boycotting it? Most likely. If it was just me on my own, I wouldn't go. But in this situation that I am in right now, and having children who enjoy looking at the animals, I think it's important, first of all, that I take them there and I tell them that there's something wrong with this. I tell them that I don't like it. I tell them that I think that animals should be free to live in their own environment, and I think that this is way worse than being. I think an animal, I mean, obviously they wouldn't have this choice, but if they had a choice between living in the wild and being taken out by a predator, or living in a fucking cage just staring at people that stare at you, I would take my chances with a wolf. If you die, it's quick and it's the natural way. This is nonsense. Giraffes are not supposed to die of old age. They're supposed to get taken out by lions. All right, that's what's supposed to happen. It sounds fucked up, but that's what's always.
Well, yeah, because no one can defy that. That's just flat out nature.
Just what it is.
That's
it is what it is. Gazelles
yeah.
are fast for a reason, because they taste delicious, and there's a bunch of animals that want to fucking chase them and eat them. I mean, it's really simple. It's really simple. But to put them in a cage and say, "Oh, this is where the gazelles live now," this is crazy. They can't even run. They're stuck in this little tiny spot, and they're freaking out. They always think someone's going to get them, but no one's going to get them ever.
I even feel bad for goldfish.
Yeah, goldfish are stupid as fuck, though. They barely have even brains.
Oh,
all right, this bitch is winding down. Todd Glass, you're an amazing motherfucker. You're a hilarious comedian, and thank God we finally did this, man.
Yeah, this was. I never get to do this ever. So
you can do this anytime you want.
No, what I mean is, like, you know, it's fun to do a podcast where you get to do something you don't do on yours, and I was able to let go. That was an amazing one hit a pot I took, or 2 hits. That lasted the whole time. About 10 minutes ago, I felt myself coming down, and that was just a very enjoyable conversation.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it too. You're a very thoughtful guy, and I think you confused that with overanalyzing. I think you're just thoughtful.
Well, I appreciate that.
I really enjoyed talking to you, man. We'll do this again.
Cool.
All right. Todd Glass. Follow him on Twitter. It's Todd Glass with 2 Ds, not 1 D.
Can
like
I say
some
2 things?
Fucking weirdo.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Helium Thanksgiving week.
Oh, the club that you helped design.
Yeah. Wednesday.
Philadelphia.
Wednesday day before Thanksgiving, and then take Thanksgiving off, and then do Friday and Saturday, and then I'll be in Dallas at Addison the second week of December.
A beautiful fucking club. Addison Improv. Love that place.
One of my favorite places.
One of my favorite places. These people are wild as fuck.
It proves that you can have a comedy club in a typical strip mall, but it has fucking soul.
Yeah, that place has soul. That place has been around a long time, too. All right, we will be back tomorrow with Pat McGee, the guy who made the werewolf, out in the lobby. And what do you point to?
Oh, can I just say I have a show?
Why didn't you wait till I'm done with the fucking plug? We'll get you in there, man. Don't interrupt it. Pat McGee will be here tomorrow, and then Sam Harris on Wednesday. So the return of powerful Sam Harris. What?
This Thursday in San Diego, I'll be at the American Comedy Company. We're having a big Halloween show and party there. Just go to AmericanComedyCo.com. A bunch of surprise guests, too, that we can't even talk about, but huge headliner.
Another great club, American Comedy Company. Awesome place. You go there?
I've heard great things about
it, but
not yet.
Perfect setup. And this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm at the Irvine Improv with lovely and talented Tony Hinchcliffe. All right, you freaks. We will see you tomorrow, and big kiss. Mwah.